Well, good afternoon, good evening, or good morning, wherever you are in the world. We are here to play a new game that we have never played before. Actually, I think, Jeff, you're probably the only person who's ever played it before, which is actually really convenient since you're running it. So why don't you tell us about it?
Yeah, hey everybody. I'm Chev. I am taking a guest DM spot here today. I'm really excited about this. So, what we're bringing for everybody today is a game system called Icon that was written by the same person who made Lancer. If anyone is also familiar with other RPG systems, and also the creative one of the uh, uh, anyway, the webcomic Kill 6 Billion Demons. It's very good. I recommend it. Anyway, so this is a system that is a kind of a post-apocalypse fantasy setting. It's set in the world of Arden Elves, which is old, wild, and untamed. And is mostly green and pastoral and idyllic, except where ruins and relics have come to the surface that are the remnants of the ancient civilization whose apocalypse kind of defined the world as we know it. It is a fantastic world, but fantastic and high magic technology things tend to be rare and coveted. So hopefully that gives you some of the flavor for the setting. Otherwise, it is a Forged in the Dark derivative. So for anyone who's familiar with that kind of lineage of games, mechanistically you will find a lot familiar. Um, why don't we do the regular thing and go around and introduce ourselves and our characters? And let's start with Misha.
All right. Well, I'm Misha underscore lesson 3 here on Twitch or at Mishwea on Tumblr. I have made the character Chie, whichever. She is a Thrin, which is one of the most numerous races in this world. They look kind of like elves, basically, with a wide variety of, appearances, but, pointy ears. That's pretty much what we're going for here. Her culture is chronicler. They are groups of people who live far away from many areas of society. I think in theory it's sited around different ancient ruins, kind of, and they all just kind of like hang out and study them and stuff like that. Is the general vibe of her culture. And I have her as the class bond of outsider. So that comes with a few different powers. I took the bond power of Xenoclash, which allows you to push a couple of different types of actions without spending any effort, which is what you normally have to do in order to get better at them. But for her main actions, she's pretty good at sense. I have her, in theory, she's pretty good at sensing magic and using magic in a general sense. So that's where a lot of her powers come from. It's her ability to sense the presence of magic or use magic to look around an area. She is also pretty good at studying because she's from a culture that values studying, so she's done a lot of it. And just a little bit in Smash because you can use magic to destroy many things. So I think that's pretty much it. I already have fan art of her in our fan art in the Discord.
Um,
So
Before we move on, one other thing that I forgot to mention. For those of you who may be familiar with the system, there are two halves of it. There is a narrative play aspect and a tactical play aspect. We are not going to be using the tactical play aspect. I have asked the players to choose a combat tactical role to give them some flavor and inspiration for their characters. But at the very least, for this first session, we will be running things through narrative combat purely.
yeah,
Awesome.
and for that combat based class, the flavors that's the right, which are like the mages, and I picked the geomancer, which is about basically using rocks and nature and stuff like that. So
Nice.
on to Sin.
Hi, I'm Sin, or sinful underscore underscore potato on Twitch, Instagram, other social media platform sites. Also, sinful dash dash potato on Blue Sky because they're different and don't have underscores, but that's cool. I play Leos Inar, who is the Frog King, which is the most we'll go over. Is they're ogres or horned demi-giants. They're few in numbers, but outsize in stature. So Leos is very tall, standing about at 7 feet, and Throgs can live between 400 or 500 years. So Leos is like 200 years old, but still kicking and not super old. But their class, no, the bond is elder because they're 200 years old and probably the oldest of the group. So that's why I did elder. Their culture is islander with the cultural values of respect for strength, a healthy sense of humor, reliability, and independence. And they speak with a Newfie accent that I'll try to do my best on. Their class, per se, is Demon Slayer, which I feel fits them because they carry around a veterans pack, which includes a famous but broken weapon. Theirs that they carry is it's the weapon class is a poleaxe, so it's a long stick that stands just above them, so about like maybe 8 feet tall, with a giant blade on the end that kind of looks like an axe, except there's like, it used to have a spike on it. That spike's gone. The blade itself is very dull, and the back part is a little broken, and it used to ignite on fire, but one too many dips in the sea, and it's not as good as it used to be anymore. So there's that. They just mainly use it for like a frying pan because who needs a frying pan when you got this, man? It's perfect. They excel at endure, and then smash comes in second with charm at a close third. So that's a Leos or Lee. Twy.
Hello, I'm Twi'lek, and I shall be playing a badger beastkin called Morvan's Marmalade. And I am a churner, which is a culture of people who wander about near the ruins and provide services to adventurers. So my combat class, if you will, is a mendicant sealer. So a mendicant is a type of healer, and a sealer provides buffs and so on to the rest of the party. My primary action is charm, but I'm also okay, not great at traversal, endurance, and sensing. Everything else, I'm terrible at. 0.
Okay, well, I am now officially glad that we're not going to be doing lots of combat because none of us are good at it. So yes, 0, me. I'll be playing Kenzo, who is another Thren. Yes, Thren are common. He is not, of course, because I'm playing him, of course. He's also a churner, though. I didn't know that about you, Morvans. I thought I was the only one. We are the best, and we're awesome. We travel around to these great ruins, and we I mean, some of us provide services to adventurers. I'm not quite sure what that means, but I am an adventurer. I'm a daredevil. And I also super respect the hustle, because you gotta, and yeah, things like, being a little bit cunning, maybe lying occasionally, that sort of stuff. And pretty good at talking his way out of problems, which is why his charm is his best thing. He's also fairly sneaky, and he can do an okay job with a few things in the Excel world. And the system Excel is things like picking locks and sleight of hand, and which is required if you're going to go in and into these ancient ruins and get all the good stuff and make a name for yourself. So yeah. Oh, and for combat, although we aren't doing the system, for flavor, for combat, he is also a wright, but he is a spellblade, which means he likes to do things like pop around the battlefield and split time and space in half and attack a bunch of people and stuff like that. But his bond power is that he can translocate. Situation gets too sticky, can't talk his way out of it. He can just not be there anymore. Pretty handy.
Awesome. So let's get started. The valley never really had a name. It was pretty unassuming. It had its share of animals and trees and rivers and animals and just a lot of not much going on, not even really in the way of farms or settlements, and nobody really ever bothered to give it a name. At least that was until the ruins arose. Nobody was around to see what happened when they first rose up, but anyone who came by, happened to be walking and hiking in the area, would have realized that where yesterday there was, a valley several miles across, really picturesque, idyllic, untouched landscape, now has what can only be described as a desolate open field in the middle of it. From far away, you would see what looks like earthworks in concentric circles that surround a central massive cubic structure in the center of it. The whole kind of area is several hundred paces on a side, or not 100 paces. I think it's when I say 1,000 paces, it's about a mile on a side. And there are dome shapes on that are visible from a distance that are surrounding all of the edges. And as one gets closer, one can see that each of those domes is not a dome, but an enormous carved stone head that is poking up out of the ground. Dirt still kind of coming off of it in little drips and drabs as the wind comes by. All of them looking in towards the structure in the center. Ruins coming up unexpectedly is not unheard of in this part of the world, but so the usual happened. Interested parties started congregating on the area. There are several major factions that have set up, one each on each of the four major quadrants. But the fourth is it's you all. And I would not say that you are a major faction exactly, but you are your own faction, your own favorite faction. And so I think where we'll start is let's start in camp. All of you are adventurers. You are treasure hunters. You're treasure seekers. And this is not your first adventure together. You've been on dungeon dives before, so you're not all complete strangers to each other. But I would imagine that you're not exactly the closest of companions, unless you wish to play it differently. But I guess it would have been a long day before you finally hiked into the area. You had heard of these ruins coming up and had immediately made your way out to see them for yourselves, to see what's available for the taking. So the camp is half set up. You've got your tents. Some of them are set up. Others, you've got the poles up and out, but you haven't really quite erected the tents yet. The fire is in. It's still in its burning high phase. It hasn't quite settled down into comfortable embers yet. And let me see. Probably about dinner time. So I guess my first question is, who's cooking dinner?
I am. I am very, very good at cooking. In fact, that's what my folks did before I left to become an adventurer. They ran a shop that sold food.
Okay.
But like small rodents and grubs and stuff, or like the kind of stuff that me and Chie will eat?
Badgers absolutely love autumn when the apples fall off the trees. And, well, yes, they also eat worms and blackberries and stuff.
Yeah.
But my parents had a very good business where one of them made apple pies and the other made cider. And then, you could sell the apple pies to people who could afford it and give cider away to people who couldn't.
And probably save a hefty amount of cider for yourself. Or am I thinking of another character?
Did you happen to have any of that cider with you now?
Yes, I do, in fact. I have a great big jug of it to give out hefty measures into everybody's cup.
Okay. So Morvins is cooking some food. Kenzo, what are you doing to set up camp here as Morvins is getting some grub rustled up?
How close are we to other people?
So what you can see around you is that you've set up camp within sight of one of the larger stone heads on kind of the southern edge of this enormous square. And so you're kind of on the far southern sides. You're looking at the back of the head. You can see that the nearest camp to you is maybe at least like a quarter mile, half a mile.
Okay.
Enough of a separation that you don't have to worry about someone just wandering over and surprising you. But if you had reason to go over and say hi, it would be easy to.
Well, I was just gonna say if I shout loud enough for them to hear me, then about how, oh, well, this is nowhere near the biggest ruin that I've seen. I mean, just the other week I was at this other one, and it's going to sound, I can't carry that off because I would literally have to be yodeling it at them a quarter of a mile away. So
Yeah,
somewhat disappointed. Somewhat disappointed.
Lungs or magical amplification.
Yeah, it's like we should have camped closer to people. So I suppose I'm just inspecting the place to make sure everything's safe, which is mostly looking around to see if there's like any interesting rocks and I mean keeping an eye out for danger, but not really doing so much that's actually productive.
Mm-hmm. As you're looking around, give me a. Are you trying to like specifically like? Are you like actually just keeping like looking for something in the environment, or are you just kind of passively looking around for stuff?
I'm not looking for anything in particular, but I am looking for anything that seems out of place. So I'm kind of scanning the ground, horizon, partly because someone needs to watch and make sure that we don't actually get sneaked up on by something awful, but also just, in case there's anything interesting, like poking out of the ground or moving around on the ground.
Okay, why don't you go ahead and give me a roll for that? So it's up to you which ability you want to use for that, but I imagine for this is probably going to be sense.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to use charm for it, but I don't think that makes any sense. So this is roll twice, take the lowest, because I have no ranks in it. Oh, well, I do have a 4 though.
Ooh. So, what you can see is, so all of the heads that you're camped nearby, you can't really see them from the front, but as you were coming down from the foothills into the valley, from very far away, all of the heads look like they have different but similar expressions. So different in like they're not all exactly the same, but they're all. Some of them are Thryn, some of them are Throg, or various kinds of beastkin, or Zixo, which are the kind of crustacean sea folk creatures. Just it's seemingly like any kind of creature that you've seen is represented here, and they seem to have expressions of discomfort or pain as they look towards the building in the center of this mile wide courtyard. But at the back of, so you can't see the expressions now that you're down kind of at ground level up close to them, but what you can see is you didn't even notice it before as you were choosing a spot to make camp, but there's doors carved into the back of each head. They look like they're crumbling and not very well kept up, but it's like somebody had carved an entryway into each of the back of the heads. So you can see that those are there, but you don't see anything like anyone coming out of them or anything like that.
So clearly, whoever lived in that spot was like, "Oh, we rule over everyone, so we're gonna make these big heads of all the people, and we're gonna make them look like, oh no, I'm so afraid of whoever lives here." So that's nice. Oh, also, there's doors in the backs of them, so we could like just like go sneak in and see what's going on. I mean, not that I'm not super excited for your porridge or whatever, Morvins, but you gotta strike while the iron's hot before everyone else gets in there and gets all the good stuff, or dies horribly, or unleashes some ancient evil on the world.
I'm super excited for your food.
You would be.
Thank you.
It's
a
an
family
interesting
recipe.
experience. A family recipe. Ooh, that's exciting.
Lee, while this is going on, what is Lee up to?
Lee would be, cleaning their very dull blade, just eyeing whatever's around, not actually sharpening it because, it's dull. But, it's fine being dull because, you just whack someone in the head, it works the same. Basically, but then also they're not supposed to be violent, so it's fine. It's cool.
What are you cleaning off of the blade? Is it food or blood?
Yes.
Yes. Because, you could cook meat on there, and, meat can be bloody and whatnot, so got that. Just, I guess the last time they used it, so it was probably cooking, some sort of steak, so yeah, just the juices that could look like blood.
One of those stubborn, baked on kind of blackened bits that you just can never get off the pan once they're on there.
Yeah.
Okay.
The trick is you got to heat the blade
Gia.
back up and then use a wire brush to get it off.
Chia, what are you doing as this is going on? You've got Morven's cooking, Kenzo keeping a lookout on the terrain. We've got Lee doing a little bit of maintenance. What's occupying Chia?
I think that I am sitting by the food because it does look pretty tasty. What did you say it was made with again?
Apples. Baked apples.
Apples. Okay. Oh, those are the fruit that were like the pias, right? Because they have the. Okay. Yeah. You have you made this one before?
Yes, it's a very good recipe. I've made it for you hundreds of times.
Oh, right. I remember. Okay. It's just that the food. Oh, it's fine. Um, and in between this conversation is taking notes of what they had seen earlier in the day, making sure the sketches look appropriate for what they had been tracking as far as like the layout of the building, so we can try to map out where we want to go, where the other people are going to be going, we think. Trying to get a plan ready.
Okay. So do you all have as you're all settling in for the evening, some time goes by. Lee finishes cleaning their axe. We've got the food is finally ready. Chia, moment where you like finish taking all the notes that you can think of and make your way over to grab some grub. So as you're all, sitting around the fire having a good meal, there is one of the things that you notice, or maybe not notice, is any sounds of animals. It's very quiet outside, and it has been for most of the day. It's an absence that you didn't recognize at first, but now that night has set in and everything, just the hustle and bustle of the day is quieting down, it really becomes very noticeable.
It's quiet. Too quiet. Haley, you want to have an apple seed spitting contest?
Darn tootin', yeah. Go
All right. So we see how far we can spit apple seeds.
Pretty far.
We've been practicing.
Chia, are there many animals about your temple?
Well, yeah, there's usually animals everywhere.
Right, but was it up a mountain or something?
Yeah, but, birds are up in the mountains. There's always small critters running around.
Penguins.
Not really penguins in the mountains, no.
We didn't have mountain penguins up there?
No.
It's a shame.
So you got them bears?
Yeah, there's bears.
You ever set one on fire?
No, it's generally frowned upon to harm wildlife, Lee. You know that well. For me, it is. We've seen what you can do to wildlife.
Yes.
I've heard that bears are very cuddly. I had a toy one when I was growing up, and apparently it looks just like real bear.
I mean,
It
they'll cuddle you
probably
once.
did.
Depends on the bear. Them big, dark ones. Those ones. Yeah, you don't come back from those. But them black bears, I think, yeah, pee, and then they'll run away. Or, yeah, you play dead. That also works. Maybe.
Or they just decide,
Maybe.
oh yeah, I'm easy, and then you don't have to play dead anymore. Because you're dead.
Yeah.
As you are talking about the bears and the wildlife, the dangerous wildlife that you've seen in the past, there is a sudden, all of a sudden, a bellowing animal roar comes across the entire camp, and it's all the more surprising for the up until now the absence of sound, except for your own. It sounds like a vicious, raging bear is right on top of you.
Oh no, we've summoned the great bear spirit with our disrespectful words. Quick, look around. Is there a giant bear?
Give me give me an action roll of your choice,
Can
or anybody who wishes to.
I want to convince
I wish
someone
to
who's good at it to do it for me.
I wish to sense a bear.
Chev,
Yeah.
I would like to stoke the fire really high so that we can see all around us. And I want to offer you a deal to do this. I want an extra dice, but if it works, the meal will be burnt irrevocably.
Okay. Nice. Take it.
I guess that would be Tinker, perhaps.
Okay.
Five. So one success.
Okay. So not only the fire roars up, you spring into action, you grab a poker and you start poking at logs, and the last peals of the bear's roar are still leaping out. And as the flames leap high, three things become apparent. One, there is no bear. You see that there is a flurry of movement as a piece of fabric you catch it out of the corner of your eye as it dashes behind one of the tents. That's one thing. So there's no bear, and you spotted someone trying to hide from you. The second thing you notice is that all of the food is just immediately charcoal. And the third thing that you notice is that Chia, a couple of the embers from the fire when it went up in smoke, they landed on your tent. And that is the same tent that the whatever you saw dashed behind.
Yeah, like you do.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just like, first of all, probably like, ow, because I definitely got a 3 on my sense roll, so my sense roll was just me getting blinded by this fire. And then I'll be like, wait, oh, my tent. What are you trying to do? Light us all on fire? And I'm gonna... Go ahead.
I heard a bear. It was a big one, a black one, just like Leos was telling us about.
I don't see a bear, and I'm gonna go over to my tent and try to get the embers off before they start a fire.
Yeah. How are you trying to get how are you trying to put out the embers?
Good question. I think I'm just hitting them.
Okay. Just kind of like swatting at them with your hands?
Yeah. As you do.
Cool. As you are swatting at the embers on the tent, you now that you've gotten close, you can see whatever dashed behind that Morvins had seen but didn't have time to tell you about. You see that there is a small creature crouching behind your tent, and it is similarly slapping itself with its arms, trying to get embers off of it. Because you and the tent and whatever this creature was happened to be immediately downwind of the fire. And it is kind of muttering to itself, no, it's not even words, it's just kind of like frustratingly just cursing at itself and its bad luck. You have a moment before it notices that you are looking at it and have totally just seen its presence. So what happens once you've seen this creature?
I look at him. They look at me. I'd be like, Lee,
Yeah.
there's a bear back here.
On it.
Where? Well, did I ever tell you about the time I actually rode a bear? It was amazing. It was awesome. No one could stop talking about it for months. Let me see. Is it big? Probably not as big as the bear I rode.
Well, he's talking.
Well, the bear I rode could talk too. Had a mouth on him like a sailor.
Chia, what you can see, it's a small creature. It looks like the size of maybe like a small dog folk or a large cat folk. It is you can't get a good look at what kind of kin it is, but you can see that it's smallish. It's probably not it's pretty small. Lee, are you rushing over with your weapon?
Yeah.
I think we're all rushing over at this point.
Yeah. Everybody's converging on the tent. Chia is putting out the last of the embers, and you can see that finally this creature notices you, and like looks up and stops brushing off the embers. You can see that it's covered in ragged kind of scraps of clothing that shirts that are way too big for it, that look like they were taken from a full-grown throg, that it's just kind of cut into strips and wrapped around itself and tried to like haphazardly tailor it to itself. But it's a catfolk. It is a small kind of catfolk with raggedy fur. It's got as part of the wrapping, you can see that its ears are coming out. It's got some gray, some like dusty gray coat, and it is standing there looking up at you. And okay, you didn't run away. This didn't go like I thought it would. Hello.
Well, hey there, little guy. So you're a cat wrapped up in scarves and on fire.
Yeah,
okay.
Not on fire anymore. And he smacks one last ember.
What you doing?
You all were supposed to run away.
Why? Why did you run away?
Well, you heard there's a bear around here.
Oh yeah, I was hoping I'd get a chance to ride it.
No, you can't ride the bear. You can't ride me.
I mean, you can't ride a bear that doesn't exist, but I could ride a bear if it was a real bear. Is there a real bear? I bet you I could.
There might be real bears.
Okay, cool. Find them, and I'll write it.
No, I mean, you were supposed to leave, and I was.
Were you trying to rob us?
Yeah.
No. Just take what you left behind.
That's
listen.
Definitely robbery.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's just finders keepers. It's listen. Like it's fine. Anyway. Listen here. I gotta. Okay, listen. I'll tell you about. I'll tell you something good. If you just let me go, and I'll tell you some good information. I'm Tally, by the way, and he kind of holds up a paw and holds it out to you. Trying to like smooth over the situation. You can see he's like slicking back his hair and like trying to like smooth down his fur and like drag his rags into a more favorable looking make himself presentable. Tally's the name. I can give you some information if you and or maybe, and he kind of pulls a pack around. Some I can give you some food. Just look the other way. It'll be fine.
Good evening, Tally. My name is Morvans, and I am sorry about setting you on fire.
Well, that was you. Oh, I mean, if you set me on fire, then I'm not going to tell you anything. We can just call it even, and I'll leave.
Didn't you say something about finders keepers?
Yeah.
Well, we
finders
found
keepers.
you.
I find it and I keep it.
Wow, but we found you.
Nope. And he turns and starts to run.
Yeah.
Can Lee try to grab him?
Absolutely, you can. He's small. He's got a little bit of the element of surprise on him. But like you definitely outrun him or outsize him. So it's going to be a little bit of a difficult outcome here, but it's definitely doable.
What action would that be?
Whichever one that you prefer. Probably excel you could make an argument for, or maybe smash.
I
Or
think
like if you're
traverse
trying to
might also work because it's to chase or flee.
Oh yes,
yes.
yes.
Okay.
Is it possible to assist?
Absolutely it is. So if you want to assist, there is a term for it, and I am. But yeah, it absolutely is assist. How are you assisting?
I'm going to confuse and befuddle Tally to
Ooh.
make them less like just like have them reconsider and slow them down a little bit so it's easier for Leos to catch them.
Okay.
And I will with an outrageous lie. Oh well, yeah, I just wouldn't run off in that direction because that's where we saw the giant lizard. Oh wait, the other direction is where the lion is, or whatever. Just like as it starts to course correct, just like oh no. Oh, you're almost so close. Like I'm coaching him to get away, but really just like confusing him, making him run around in circles. Obviously trying to be charming about it.
Here we go. It is aiding. So you spend one effort to aid an ally.
Oh, never mind.
Well, there's also a set up, which is what I think you're doing, which is to do
Okay.
Oh, yes,
the
yes,
I'm trying
action.
to set you up to make it easier for you. Yeah, that'll be a 6.
Oh, absolutely. So you catch him as he is your shouted lie catches him as he is turning away, and you can see that there's like he actually like not even stumbles, he full on freezes for a second.
And does that give Lee an extra die to roll to grab? Okay,
yep.
cool.
Well, actually, you can either get a +1 boon, which is an extra die, or increased effect. So, if whatever the effect would have been, like the outcome, it's even more successful than it would have been narratively. So Sin, you get to choose whether you want to take like the mechanistic benefit or the narrative benefit. If you already have like a rating of 3, you might not want to take the boon, but it's up to you.
I currently have a rating of 2, so probably be better for the narrative.
Okay. Cool. Let's go ahead and roll it.
Wait. I rolled it, and the lowest is a 2.
But you're looking for the highest.
Oh, so I re-roll it?
No, just take whatever you rolled and.
So did you roll 2d6?
I did.
How yeah, and then you have 0 in the pool.
Oh, I
That
see.
is
You have
correct.
0.
Got
Okay.
it. So if you take the boon, that means that you effectively for this roll have 1, which means roll 1, and then that's what you get. That makes sense? It's like you're at disadvantage now, but with the boon, it's a straight roll.
Okay. That ended up being a 5.
Ooh, awesome. So how describe this? How are you rushing forward to grab onto Tally?
So, you know how like pole vaulters take their stick and put it in the ground and push themselves forward? It'd be like that, and then reach in the moment in the same movement as they're moving forward. They're letting go of one hand with the other still on the pole and reaching out to grab onto the tiny creature compared to their size.
Okay. You said you rolled a 5, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So as you so you are able to reach forward handily and grab onto Tally, and you get like right by the scruff of the neck. You've got a solid hold on the back of his neck and his clothes. You can feel that the spot that you dug down into with your poleaxe was a little bit muddy and uneven, so you both end up falling to the ground, flat into the dirt and the mud. But you do still have a grip on them. It's just, you did a little bit of a pratfall. No, no, stop, let me go. No.
Got him.
Cool.
As you're getting up and holding him, like I'm imagining you kind of like holding him at arm's length, and he's doing kind of like a Hanna-Barbera cartoon, kind of trying to run in midair. I'm like, no, let me go. Okay, I'll give you information. Just let me go, please.
Are the two of you all right? That looks quite the fool.
I've had worse.
I have never suffered indignity like this. This is unprecedented. You all owe me damages. My clothes are ruined.
I think they were kind of already ruined.
Emotional damages.
Yeah, pull
So
our
you're a
little
lawyer
toes.
now?
No, I just. I mean, if you give me money, I'll pretend to be one.
No, I think you should just give us information that you promised us anyway for recompense for you trying to rob us. And then you can run off into are you here by yourself, bro? This is not a safe place for someone to be.
He looks around. Would you believe me if I said that I had a pack of heavily armed and dangerous?
Not when you say it that way. Not at all.
No,
not really.
I figured.
Okay.
Okay. Here's the.
You can give us the information, then you can chill out here where it's like warm and there's fire. You don't have to like run off and like dig around in the dirt by yourself where you're probably gonna fall into a hole and die.
My camp is quite nice. I have a quite nice camp. I would like to get back to it. Okay, here. You all are clearly capable. Let me tell you. I'll give you one piece of information for free. And okay, so you here at the south. If you go, let me tell you about the other people around. Those guys over in the camp over there, I'll tell you about them. I'll tell you about the big camps that are over that way. I'll give you the rundown. I've been all over. Just don't hurt me, and I'll give you the answers you want.
Okay. But do you know anything about like the actual ruin itself?
No, I mean, no. So far, and he kind of points to the stone heads where that you had seen the doors kind of popping in and doors in the front. So far, they've all been going into the heads. It's there's not. They haven't found many monsters in there. Just some beasties, and but they haven't had too much trouble, and they've just been getting it's easy pickings. It's all the dust you can get. Just go in and grab it by the handful. So they're all just kind of there, and they haven't really gone into the center yet.
Cool. Hey, why don't you take a load off? Tell Chia everything that you know, and she will write it down.
Okay.
And she's the nice one. Hey, she didn't spite you dead with magic. That's what she's the good one.
His eyes go wide. His pupils are like dinner plates now at the thought of Chia's magic kind of just taking care of him. So over the next 10-20 minutes, it takes a lot of effort and perseverance to really get like coherent information out of Tally, but eventually you are able to figure out that there are many, dozens of small camps set up around the periphery, but in terms of, most of them are like you all. They're small time adventurers. They're just here, they don't have a lot of resources. They're here for whatever they can get. There are three main factions. There is that have a lot of resources. There are the Stonebreakers to the north. There's the Overgrowth to the west, and there is the Bookers to the east. He gives you a brief description. The Bookers seem like they are led by a I have descriptions. He doesn't give you much about them except that he tells you that the Overgrowth seem to be some kind of merchant caravan that has set up, and they are kind of everyone is congregating on them. They have kind of a big marketplace set up, and it's like they're trading things, and other people are coming to also set up stalls and markets. The Bookers, they don't let anyone near them. They have there's a lot of mercenaries, and there's some kind of central tower that he couldn't get near. And then the Stonebreakers, he doesn't have anything really nice to say about them because they chase him off and taunt him. And he says something about leaping. They keep leaping high in the air and then crashing down on him. And he doesn't really seem to tell you anything much beyond that, except that they are mean to him and they jump high in the air.
Are they like frog people or something?
They're all sorts. They seem to be a churner camp, and so they whatchamacallit? Yeah, oh yeah, sorry, I should have said that. The Stonebreakers are a churner camp. The Overgrowth are a boop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doo. I have Legio, I think is the term. The merchant deals, and the Bookers are a chronicler camp.
Oh, okay. Oh, by the way, that means that we need to have a faction and camp name. What about Undertakers? Because we go under the earth and we take stuff. Also, it sounds threatening.
Ooh. You mean a name for yourselves?
Yeah, because it would be ridiculous to play more than 40 minutes of a game and not have a name for your team, much less
Absolutely.
27 episodes or anything like that. Like, how could you? Look at Anisha.
That would be unheard of.
Right. But no, I mean, I was not to dictate it, but I mean, Undertakers, right? It's got a ring, right? It's got a little bit of a pun situation going on. It's also a little bit threatening. And then when people meet, it's like, oh, Undertakers, you're scary. Oh, you're actually really nice. It's like, yeah, you should have his orange or apple pie stuff. It's real good. We don't even kill cat children or whatever. And by we, I mean most of us, because I'm not so sure about Lee. Anyway. Cool. Hey, you're not leaving anything important out, are you? I mean, or making anything up that you shouldn't, trying to get us in trouble. Because we're friends now, right? No. You and me and Chia and Lee and Morvans, we're all good buddies, and it would be a really terrible thing to do to your good buddies to like lie to them or leave anything important out, wouldn't it?
He's looking like he's not really. Give me a charm.
Yeah. One trick pony. 2 6s.
So that is a crit. He kind of draws close. Like, he has been the entire time he's been talking with Chia, he's been looking at Morphins to glad to see a fellow beastkin here. He's been terrified of Leos. Just kind of trying to stay, like, he's always trying to like get Chia and Kenzo between himself and Leos. And Kenzo, as you're talking with him, you're trying to be a little conspiratorial with him. He's clearly like he's really opening up to you. Like he is just, his demeanor says that he trusts you. Okay, listen, don't tell the others.
Okay. Just between
Okay,
me.
came, you all. I think I see opportunity in you all, and the only thing that I'm good at is seeing opportunity. So I wanted to come here, and okay, I did try and take.
That's all in the past. That's all in the
Don't tell
past.
the angry one I did try to rob you, but
It's all in the past.
Yeah, let's listen. It's opportunity. I think you all can go places. So, let me tell you, like, you all, I assume you want to go in, you want to get some dust, but let me tell you, something this big, you don't get, you don't build something like this just to put all the important stuff in all the edges. You put the important stuff in the center. And so what I think you all should do is go to the center. That, or I don't know, like whatever you want to do. Like, I'm not your leader. Just like, just whatever. But like, I think you're going places.
All right. You, me, we're like this. Fully simpatico.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, then. Well, I hope you enjoy your fine, lovely camp. Don't let the Stonebreakers jump on you anymore.
No. Oh, no. I'm very far away from them. Okay.
Sounds like a good
Tell
idea.
the others. Tell the others that
I'll tell them nothing.
I said goodbye.
I'll say you said goodbye and shared no further information or guidance whatsoever. Just you and me.
He just immediately starts bolting and running away into the night without warning.
Okay.
And without a look back.
Says he's off. Well, that kid's a genius. His suggestion was, if we wanted the good stuff, we should go to the middle. Wow. Someone should put that in a book. You should put that in a book, Gia.
I already did.
Yeah. Chapter 1 of hunting for relics in old ruins. They don't keep the best stuff on the outside. You have to go in the middle. Brilliant. Anyway. Cool, but still no bear. That's disappointing. I taught that bear to ride a unicycle and everything.
Mm-hmm. Interesting that there's a chronicler's camp here. I wouldn't have expected too many to come out for this.
I mean, it's a big ruin, right? Probably culturally significant, maybe historically significant.
I mean, that's why I go look at ruins, but they move pretty quick. We didn't get here too late, I don't think.
No. Maybe they have uncovered something in their previous excavations that gave them advance notice that this was going to appear. I mean, I know it's not supposed to be possible to know exactly when things are going to happen, but, chroniclers are smart, right?
It has been no more than a week and a half since word first came of that this ruin had burst from the earth. So it is very quick. It is surprising, I think. Your intuition is correct. It's surprising that there will be a chronicler camp here.
It seems to me that we should steal a march from them and be up before dawn tomorrow to go towards the center.
Or we could just go now. Oh, wait, it's been a long day. And I did have a couple of servings of that cider, so maybe that's why I want to go now. We should save some for tomorrow, so we can get good and loose as we go to explore the definitely not trapped, definitely not filled with monsters. And, whatever, discover something that'll make us rich. I mean, something that will enter the annals of the chroniclers as the most historically significant find ever, and they'll make a painting or a sculpture or whatever of Gia. Maybe we could
That's not how that works, but thanks for the sentiment.
Or we could get you a new stick thing there, Lee, so you can, that isn't dull. Why? Oh, I never asked you. So, like, it's basically a club at this point, right? Because of the missing pieces and the dullness.
Yeah, I suppose you can say that.
Okay. Is it like sentimental to you? Is that why you keep it?
Me's had this since I was just knee high. Yesy, me father, 'twas a great demon slayer, and he's passed down this weapon to me, so
Okay, that makes sense. Sort of. I don't know. Anyway.
it used to
Chia,
be
you
way
might
better.
actually recognize the weapon that Lee is holding. You know, it's not like the most famous weapon, but you know, it has a name. It is renowned.
Mm. Is it called Tetanus Giver?
No,
Okay.
maybe.
Bear Breaker?
The
Whatever the I
Devil's
would leave it
Toothpick?
up to
The Blessed Bunker.
The Atlas?
The Atlas Blade. Fancy. Cool.
so as
I'll just
you
be like-
oh, sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's the Atlas blade. I thought you knew. Like when we first met up, I mean that's part of why I thought Leas would be a great addition to our little expedition. You know, because of
Undertakers.
the legendary weapon. Yeah.
I mean, I hear about all that stuff, and it's just like I mostly just see like a stick with metal on it. But I mean, it's real cool. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying.
It does
The,
wonders for bludgeoning.
I believe it.
As Lee is you know, explaining about the weapon, and Chia is relating the historical knowledge of this weapon. Everybody is drinking ciders. The camera kind of pans back, and you can see that you know, all around the ruins is you know, campfires. Similar scenes are playing out among, you know, scores of other adventurers. You know, it and effectively the race is on. We get in the morning, the sun dawns bright, the weather is clear, and you know, there's still no real you know, animals to speak of. Morvins, you realize that one of your smaller flasks of cider is missing after the night before. And it is a fresh day. So the way that kind of mechanically that Icon works is that it's structured into expeditions. So with interludes, kind of, you know, periods of freeform role play like we just got done, you know, those are you know, a lot of the kind of narrative play of the game. But in terms of like going on missions and adventures, it helps to have an idea of like a goal of what you want to achieve on a mission. And once you've decided on your expedition kind of goal, you kind of decide on about how many times you think you'll be able to camp, and that affects things like, you know, how many times you can heal, burden, or strain, things like that. So I guess my question is what do you think your first goal here is going to be? The goal of your first expedition.
We're in a race, and we know that the treasure is in the very center. We should plunge directly into the heart.
It kind of sounds like and they were never heard of again sort of situation. Also, the cat had that idea, which makes me doubt it significantly. That cat did not know nothing.
Would you like to head take instead?
I mean, I think there's like a head right there, and everything. If the cat was right and there's not a bunch of like monsters and stuff, we could literally just go in and grab some stuff and it would be fine. And then, assuming that's successful, we can just like, go further and get more. I don't know.
Is there even an obvious way into the middle? Because all the heads
So-
have doors.
The backs of the heads of doors, they're not placed like a wall. It's more like you'll have like a head that is maybe like 30-40 feet tall, and then there will be maybe like half that distance between it and the next head. So it is more like a monoliths that are interspersed around the edge. There is one on kind of the center of each of the four edges is a very larger one that is 60 feet tall, and you are within close walking distance of that, the central largest one on the southern edge. But there's no trouble getting around the heads if you want to.
So, do you want to go for a big head or a little one?
I mean, we gotta go for the big head, right? I mean, kind of have to.
Were any of the other three camps on this side?
No, the other three major camps are on the northern, western, and eastern sides.
All right, the big head it is.
The bigger, the better.
Okay.
Probably.
So you probably have enough time for maybe one camp, if that. I don't think this is going to be a very longer expedition. It doesn't. You can't really tell whether it goes in or down and how deep it goes if it's down. But judging by like what you can see from other camps that are going into some of the smaller heads, they're not spending too much time inside of them.
Yeah. A little recon mission. Get a sense of the lay of the land, and then plan from there.
Cool. So, as you break camp and set out, it takes not long, maybe not more than like half an hour to get over to from your camp to the very largest head. As you approach, you can see that this head is a Zixo head. So Leos, you are probably the most familiar with looking at the kind of reading the expressions of Zixo. This one is kind of a lobster type, and you would describe the best way to describe it is wariness and fear. That whatever the expression on this head is, that it's looking towards, and you as you're walking by, as you walk by the gaps in each of the smaller heads, you can see into the center of the area. There are many earthenwork berms that are all arranged in concentric circles that are at various heights, but not more than 10-15 feet. And you can see, and they all have kind of an undulating top to them. So you can see, little bits and pieces of other heads across the ways. You can see the enormous stone cube in the center as you're walking by, and then you're coming up on this on the head. And as you are coming close, you can see that there is there's some crates and some wagons that are set up outside of the door. So the door is carved into the head. The head is one enormous piece of stone and is pure, raw, natural stone that has been hewn up or hauled up out of the deep earth. And the door is not so much a door, in like Last Crusade, when they go to the one famous spot, and it has like the temple that's kind of carved into the cliff wall. It's a little bit like that. Like they've got they've got some antechambers kind of half carved into the rock, and then there is a central doorway that looks like it is sized so that 4 or 5 Zixo could walk abreast in as they enter. And as you get closer, you can see that someone else has like the wagons and the carts that you could make out from a distance. You're getting closer, and you can see that they've got some magical lanterns, which are a little bit of a rarity in these parts. They've got some more normal torches. They've got some containers that are you recognize as meant to hold dust, the condensed magical essence that all of you are ultimately here for, or that is the currency of the land. So someone has clearly gone in before you.
I would like to look at the carts. Has the grass grown up around them a bit? Can I see muddy tracks where the wagons have pulled up? Have they been here for more than a day or so? Or
no, they. It looks like whoever came here arrived within the last couple hours. You can see that there's still a little bit of dew on the grass, except where it has been trodden down by the wheels of the carts and the wagons. Excuse me. Whoever came here did so very recently.
What's the etiquette? Like, is it if we go into the same spot as another group, it's immediate warfare and then we fight to the death? Or is it more like, we can use the same door, but we just can't get in each other's way?
I think that'll depend on the party. So for other adventuring parties in general, who are you just trying to think about, what you know about?
Yeah, just from prior experience, like how likely is it that if we were to go into this head, it's going to cause a significant problem versus like, we would just have to be like nice.
Yeah. So what you know is that it's unpredictable. Some bands of adventurers, of other icons are very lenient and willing to even cooperate, or at least have an uneasy truce with other adventuring groups. It depends on the group. Some of them are much more territorial and violent. It would take if you examined some of their items and what they equipped themselves with and what they've left behind, you might be able to get a sense for that. But otherwise, it's a little bit hard to say without actually meeting the people.
I figure it's probably the chroniclers, right? Because they're pretty close. So
it could be the chroniclers. Yeah. It could be representatives of the overgrowth. It could be just an independent party. It's a little hard to say.
I can examine their stuff.
Yeah. See if it looks all familiar to it. A bunch of quills and ink and paper and stuff.
That would be a 5 on sense.
Okay. So yeah, you recognize it as they're not chroniclers, but they don't have any weapons. It seems like it's not that they don't have any weapons. They have weapons that are suitable for fighting beasts, not for other icons. That they have some swords. They have they have some scabbards left behind from where they decided to leave some weight behind. They've got the maintenance tools for keeping their weapons sharp. But it's not like they're not loaded for bear. They have, the bare minimum for keeping themselves safe in a dangerous environment, but it's not like they're loaded to raid another party.
So here's the deal. We go in, And if they come up and they get all like, why are you in our spot? It's like, we were here yesterday. You just impinged on our claim. But guess what? We forgive you.
Oh, I thought we would just leave, but however you want to play it, it'll probably be fine.
Yeah, I was fine lying first and then leave if you have to. And technically we were here yesterday, and we were thinking about coming this direction, which is almost as good as taking a claim to it. So yeah. Now that I think about it, how dare they? We'll be the bigger people.
We call dibs.
Yeah, we call dibs. So they've broken the rule of dibs, but we're the bigger people. We'll forgive them. I can tell I've confused Chia. Can you imagine how confused they'll be?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're close to this. I don't want to go walk to another one. That's like 30, 40 feet away. Ew.
I shall light up a lantern and then gesture for Kenzo to lead the way.
Chia, you realize as you're kind of finishing up this conversation that you accidentally you didn't really make a note of where everything exactly was when you were kind of leaning over the edge of one of the wagons and rummaging through. If someone was paying attention, which they probably will be, they will definitely know that someone was going through their things.
It's fine.
Yeah, we had to figure out who it was.
I will not mention this.
I had to figure out who it was that was trying to jump our claim.
If in doubt, blame Tally.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that cat has been around all over.
At least Leos didn't smash it.
It's true. Or set it on fire. Cool. Hey, does anyone have any scrap fabric? Not from what you're wearing, but from something else.
I think all of you could have, all of you have, various clothes and stuff that are your backup clothes and more ratty adventuring things.
Cool.
I'll
pull out one of the. I'll pull out a because his pack is not remotely well packed. It's just a bunch of stuff crammed in, and just throw a bunch of stuff around until I can find a shirt that looks very similar to what the cat was wearing. I'm gonna rip off a little piece and then just stick it in a gap between two pieces of wood on the wagon, so that way we can oh look, there's a clue. It was that cat. See, it's the same color as that cat. It's called a frame job.
Okay, give me an action roll to see how well this deception works.
I mean, it's deception, so it's kind of like future. How deceitful can it be? I'm gonna say it's charm.
Okay.
Because it's not I'm not trying to make it just the exact right placement or something. I think it's more like anticipating what will be the most convincing. 6.
Nice, complete success. And you were trying to describe to make it look like Tally had done this, right?
Had come in and pawed in, and some of their weird wrappings had gotten caught on a piece of wood and gotten ripped.
Okay.
Off. Just in case it turns out these people are, and we wind up working with them, and then they're like, oh, but you went through our stuff. It's like, why would we go through your stuff? There was that cat. Well, this is what they were wearing. Did you see them?
Okay. Cool. So as you finish up your deception and you're coming in, as you're ordering up to go in, who's taking point on heading in?
I mean, Lee's the scary one. I'm the nice one. She is the smart one. Morvins is also the nice one.
It depends on whether we want to lead with the force or we want to lead with looking around. Because I would probably lead if we're looking around.
I think you should lead, because then you can be all oh, look at the fascinating architecture and the carvings or whatever. It'll definitely put them at ease.
Yeah.
What's the command for seeing the current lineup of boons and banes?
Exclamation status.
Status.
Thank you.
Really suspicious that you're asking that,
Yeah, how
Jeff.
dare you?
Listen, it's fine. It's fine. Oh, I forgot to mention. So for boons and banes, I'm thinking that a minor bane or boon is improving or basically like changing your effect and your risk, so kind of narrative consequences. And then majors will be for either introducing on my part a negative consequence, or for inflicting a d6 boon or bane onto a roll.
Okay.
And thank you all, everyone, for contributing boons and banes to the pool.
Okay, you're the worst.
So as you're, oh yeah, sorry. So, have you just did you decide if you wanted to go, kind of guns blazing, go in hard action movie, or are you trying to take the more investigative approach?
Chia first.
Investigative.
Yeah, Chia.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, unless Chia's gonna roll in all like warrior nun ninja or something.
No.
You
Look
probably could.
Look at my manuscript. Smack, smack, smack.
I
Chanting
got a
the
swizzle
verses.
stick and I know how to use it.
You know all of the most vicious, violent sounding parts of the Great Chant and can sing them very effectively to intimidate your enemies if you have to, if you need to. So as you enter the back of the head, you can see that everything similarly indoors is there's nothing loose around. Like there aren't any like signs of like small objects or anything, that at least not in this immediate entryway. But you can see that there's like films and layers of dust, like there's choking dust in the air that is swirling around. Your lanterns and your torches are picking out almost hypnotic shapes in the dust as it swirls. Even now, presumably it's been days since these were first erupted. It's almost like something about the air is keeping the dust suspended, that something is disturbing the air on its own. You can see that there are alcoves and tables and chairs wrought into the stone itself. There are there's a central passageway that leads down the majority of what looks like kind of the breadth or the length of the head, and there are chambers that come to the off to each side. And you can see that both here near the entrance and it looks down at the farther end. You can see a similar kind of curved archway that looks like it. The one that you can see next to you looks like it's going onto a staircase that leads down. It's kind of a shaft that has a winding staircase carved into the outer edge of it as it goes down.
Looking around, is there a way to tell to see where you went, or is it just there's dust everywhere?
Yeah, it's pretty easy to tell that whoever was here, they it's like walking through snow in the middle of a snowstorm, that the dust is kind of obscuring footprints and passage marks as you can like look at it. You can see that there's marks of somebody of people walking in and then dragging bags and crates back out that look like they're mostly obscured by the dust. And there are other more recent marks that looks like they're coming from the door that you just walked through that are going down towards the staircase.
Well,
As
they
you
went
are
down.
looking at the staircase, you can start to hear there is some clanging and some flickering several floors down that you can hear.
quiet. Let's go investigate.
Yeah. Shall we all sneak?
Yeah, let's all sneak. This will be great. We're all gonna do a good job.
Definitely for the 7 foot tall.
All right.
And the person who glows sometimes when there's magic nearby.
Yeah.
That just means, you know, you don't need torches as much.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, are you trying to go down sneakily or?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
we're trying to sneak. Emphasis on try.
Okay. Everybody, give me a sneak roll.
I got a 5 and a 1.
Cool.
Ooh, are you trained at all in sneak?
No.
Then you got a
Okay.
1.
Yeah.
Then that's a 1. That's a failure. Failure at
Yep.
sneaking.
Yeah,
That
Is that
makes
a
I got
4?
A 2, 4, and a
Four.
5. Awesome.
so this
Nice.
went about as we expected, actually.
Yeah. So, a bunch of mixed successes, then one outright failure. So as you're making your way down, there is some pebbles and some bits of odds and ends and like rocks and dirt and stuff that is like you're making your way down. You're being quiet as you can. But what you don't realize is that there is little bits of dust that are falling off of the edge of the stairs and falling down. But ultimately, that doesn't really matter because Leos, what happens is you're trying your best. You're trying to be stealthy. It's not really working. Your atlas keeps clanging against the wall as you're walking. And then once you're about halfway down to the next floor, I am going to use a major bane, and you actually a piece of the wrought stone floor actually starts to crumble under Lee's feet. As like you put a step down on a step, or put a foot down on a step, and there's a crunch. There's a crack that starts to form, and the stone itself is pinging almost musically as it starts to separate from the wall. And you can tell that if you don't act very quickly, you're gonna end up falling with the stone into the shaft. What happens?
You know the spider climb? Or spider wall? You watched Ninja Warrior?
I don't. But are you trying to you want to try and grab onto a kind of brace yourself against the ceiling and the wall?
Yeah. Not fall.
Okay. Okay, give me a how are you trying to do this? Are you trying to just really quickly kind of position yourself? Or how are you trying to I guess what I'm really asking is what kind of action are you trying to do to avoid falling in?
Probably a smash to make sure the hand grip is in the walls.
Okay. Cool. Go ahead and
Punch
roll
her
your
fists
smash.
into the walls. I
Yeah.
ain't going nowhere.
So if that's a two boxes marked, that's 2 die roll.
Yeah,
Yep.
roll
Roll
2
two
die.
and take the highest.
Okay. That's a 5.
Okay. So as you so actually, how about this? Go ahead and describe what you're doing here in this moment. No, I lost audio.
It helps if I unmute myself.
Oh.
So the rock falls underfoot and then just like arms out to like smash into the walls.
Okay.
Like a fist. And then grab.
Nice, and it works exactly as you had hoped. Your fist finds purchase on the wall. You are perfectly like balanced forces. You are in no danger of falling. But the stone step that crumbled under your feet, it continues and it falls down into the darkness. And you actually hear like it's ringing, it's pounding against other bits of stair, and as it's falling down, and then after a second or two you hear a loud yell like from below.
Leos goes, "Oi! You keep it down there."
Stop bringing the whole ruin down on us. You hear somebody shout up from below.
Watch your head.
As you continue down, the rest of the way down the stairway is a little bit uneventful. You make it down to the next landing, and you can see that there's still, judging by how you heard the the voice that you heard, it sounds like it's a couple landings further down. As you get down to the next landing, you can see that there are the stone stairway has done a good bit of damage to the stairs below it. Like it's almost like it hit a couple spots and it kind of cascaded as it went down. Like you can still hear some of the rock shifting and settling, and there are bits of the stairway below you that are like it's still passable, but you'll have to jump in a couple spots. As you're looking, now that you're on the next landing down, you can see that there's some firelight from some torches coming up from a few landings below. And you can hear that some of the clanging is still going on, and now you can hear some shrieks of what sounds like a very like animalistic roar of but you can't really make out what it is exactly from up here. It's some kind of ruins beast, but exactly what it is still a little bit hard to tell. Are you going to continue down?
If they're in a fight, then we ought to lend our hand and assist in them.
Oh, see, I was thinking if they're in a fight, we ought to take our time. But I like your approach better.
I was also thinking we'd help them if they're in a fight. Yeah.
But we can't help them if we rush headlong and fall and break our necks.
Well, we don't have to worry about walking stealthily.
It's true. Hey, Lee, maybe if you knock more of the stuff down, it'll kill whatever beast it is that's trying to kill them.
I'll try my best there.
So are you going to go in? So how are you going to proceed? Who's going to take lead?
Oh, now it's Lee's turn.
Okay.
And they said to not be sneaky, so just like stomping down the stairs, making as much noise as possible.
Okay. As you're going, you're making so much noise. Just you can hear that there are like bits of the rock stairway that looked like they were pretty solid. Like you're stomping so forcefully that like you can see some more cracks that are spider webbing off of where you stepped.
We don't want to get stuck here forever, though. So
It's
there's a difference between not having to take time to be super quiet and being as loud as one possibly can and wrecking the joint.
Does like slow motion stopping.
Sure.
As you're you can hear a couple more loud yells from below. You know, like Leos had kind of set out with great stomping steps, brought back to a more moderate pace by their party, and you make your way down. There's no more, at least on this landing, whatchamacallit, you know, collapses of the stairwell. As you get down another layer, what you can tell is you can actually start to hear that there are some skittering of legs, like chitin kind of scraping along stone, and you know, like you can hear that there are like the clangs of metal against stone and against something else that is more, you know, like hard but not quite as resonating. As you make your way down, the next layer of the final landing down to the third layer down is, you know, the trip down there is uneventful, and as you round the corner, the sound of battle is almost deafening. You can see that there is holes that have been dug into the rock to either side of the passageway. So you can, you know, you came down, and then this was a passageway that paralleled the one above that leads down, and you can see that in the floor and in the ceiling that there are tunnels that have been dug, and you can see that there are what look like enormous centipedes that are running in and out between them. They like as you're watching, they rush out of one and they come back into another, kind of like a, you know, insectile Benny Hill yakety sax routine with going in the doors and out the doors and not being able to tell where they go. And you can see that there is a band of Loppen, so rabbit folk, who are standing in the center of the hall. They have swords and spears. They're kind of grouped up in a kind of you know, kind of wall formation. They have shields. A few of them have shields that are holding to try and, you know, have their back to each other and look out. And you can see that there's a couple dead centipedes that are, you know, cut into and and hanging out of some of the tunnels that have been dug. But you can see that there's still a few alive, and one of the tunnels is that there's almost a layer of slime that is starting to drip out of it as you watch. That looks like something that is not the centipede is also coming through the tunnels.
Ew.
How big are the centipedes? Like,
maybe about like if you took a human and you had like a centipede that was about as, you know, as long as a human was, and maybe about like human torso sized width.
Gross.
Like a human centipede.
How dare you?
But yeah, it's like human person sized. These are pretty common in ruins. You know them as, you know, like symbols of bad luck. Pretty much everybody knows about ruin centipedes. That, you know, that they exist. That, you know, it's hard to. You don't want to fight them, but it's not like it's the worst enemy you could possibly face. But if you're not prepared for them and not expecting them, they can be quite deadly.
Yeah. We are here to save you. To the bunnies. Or try, sort of.
how are you springing into action?
With flavor.
I would like to do a setup. I would like to do a setup action. I am going to reach out and grasp a centipede with my hands and pull it close to me so that somebody else can attack it out of the wall.
Okay. Nice. So,
I would like to do this with endure on the basis that it's going to be eating me, I suppose.
oh, so you're kind of noodling for a centipede.
Gross.
I guess I'm kind of picturing that you kind of like you're looking at where the centipedes are kind of they're constantly going in and out of the holes almost too fast to see, and you kind of get a sense that like this one that I'm right next to is going to be where they're coming out of next, and you stick your hand in and you can feel that it grabs, like your choice was correct. This was the right hole to stick your hand in, and you can feel that the mouth parts of the centipede are wrapping themselves around your fist, and they're starting to like they're pushing against you and they're biting down. So give me that endure.
6.
Ooh, nice. So it hurts. It definitely hurts, but you grit your teeth and you are able to endure. And as you're you're kind of pulling back your arm and making sure that you're not like losing track of it, and you're pulling it out, and it is still like thoroughly on your arm as you pull it out of the wall, but it's still immediately obvious that like it's perfectly set up for anyone who wants to take a swing at it.
Leos would like to smash with the
Hell yeah.
the
Roll that
dull
smash.
blade. Yeah. So that's a 5.
Okay. So your aim is a little bit off. You definitely because Morven's hand is inside of the centipede's mouth. It's a little bit hard to tell like where his hand actually ends. And so as you bring your pike down, like you're not chopping exactly, you're just doing like massive blunt force damage. And so as it comes down onto the centipede, like you smash right through. You can hear the crunch of the exoskeleton as your weapon, as Atlas like comes down through. But you can also feel like you can see that Morven's arm is jerking. Morven, take 2 strain. Like you definitely got hit in this process. Like it caught you like kind of in like the wrist area. Like your hand was just a little bit too far in, and Leos has clipped you. But definitely that centipede is definitely dead. It looks like there's still a few centipedes left, and the slime that was dripping out of one of the holes in the ceiling, it's larger in volume now. Like before, it was a little bit of just like 1 or 2 little stringy globs that were falling. Now it's like more of like a waterfall that's falling out and flowing down. You're not quite sure yet what exactly is causing that slime, but you can still see that there's a couple more centipedes around. Who takes a move next?
So all of these things are coming through like holes in the walls and ceilings.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to close the holes
Ooh.
aggressively using
Nice.
magic.
Okay.
So I think it'll be smash, and I'm going to use Xenoclash so I can push myself to get an extra die. And I think that the unique talents or abilities is the staff, which I am just going to call Swizzle Stick because it is a funny name, even though it's not for stirring drinks, unless. But at any rate, this is the crystals on it glow, and whenever Chia uses magic, like there's patterns in like purple that's kind of like on her right side. They've always been there as far as she knows, and they just glow when she's magic because it's cool like that. At any rate, she's just going to use her magic, especially Earth Affinity, to try to seal up all of the holes in the room.
Okay.
Just kind of smoosh them close at the end. That is a 4.
Okay. Mixed success. You're able to get a good chunk of them. So you feel it's like, you know, so you have the power of the chant that you know as a chronicler. You're channeling this magic. You are one with the earth, and one with the stone for a brief moment as the magic kind of, you know, connects you to nature, and you can feel that, like, this isn't just stone. Like, the stone around you is also infused with magic and with dust, and you can definitely tell that, you know, like, it's not quite as easy to move the stone as you would normally have expected it to be, and so, like, you get most of them. There are still a couple of holes left, like maybe about like a quarter of them remain unplugged, but you've got most of them like they just seal shut, like someone closed a shutter. And like, you can tell, like, you can hear some smashing from the other side as insects, as some of the centipedes are suddenly finding themselves entombed in the rock, and they're like smashing their heads against it, and you can tell that they are furious about this. You can, but also what you can see is that the slime that had been dripping out of the ceiling is now it is a downright flood, and you can see that you can hear like this deep kind of like ribbit noise as some kind of enormous like frog the size of a mastiff starts to comes into view in the glow that's coming off of your staff, off of this Swizzle Stick. And there is, in the ceiling, you can see that there is now this enormous frog face that is looking down at you, and you can see that the slime is coming off of its skin, and it opens its mouth almost in a grin as it looks down at you, and is looking at you, and it is. It not just at you, Chia, but it's looking at everybody, and it's looking around, looks at the law pin, and it chooses the badger folk. It chooses Morvins, and you can see that it spits. It kind of like somebody really hawking a loogie, like really building up the phlegm, and like just like. And just like with this enormous like just spit noise, it hawks an enormous like almost ball of slime down towards all of you, but it's directed right at Morvins.
I would like to dive out of the way.
Okay.
I would also like to spend a minor boon in order to reduce risk.
Absolutely. So what form do you want that boon to? Do you have a specific idea in mind of how that boon manifests?
I am holding my broken arm up in front of me, still holding the centipede, which is in its death throes, as a sort of, it's up above my head as I'm diving forwards.
Okay, awesome. So the ball, or yeah, so go ahead and roll your dodge.
1.
That's gonna be a little bit bad. You're gonna take 2 strain. It hit you're trying to dodge, but it's almost like the frog uh, expected you to try and dive away. Like it was thinking one step ahead, and so you, as you kind of throw yourself to the side, it's like you think you dodged it, but actually, like as you're standing there, it hits you right full on the head, and you are just coated in this slime. And it's you can feel like your head breaks through the surface almost immediately, and you get a gasping breath, but it's in your fur, it's in your clothes, it's making all of your movement like slowed, and like it's almost like you're covered in an enormous rubber sheet almost. It's like it's hardening the longer it's in the air, and you can feel that it's really like gobbing you down. And once that hits you, one of the Lopin looks over and yells at you like, "You got to get him out of there! He's a sitting duck for the bugs!" And you can see that there are indeed centipedes that are rearing up from some of the few remaining holes, and they are looking right at Morvins.
Oh, well, that's no good. So I think I will. I'm trying to find a way to do this flavorfully. Yes, I think what I will do is kind of like reach into my little vest on either side, like cross hand, and then pull out. Only it's not blades, it's little sparks of electricity. And then I will like zip pop, like an arc of electricity, a couple like three little hops, and with each hop, a little blade flies out, like precisely aimed to crack this shell around Morvin's.
Nice.
And then, like, if the second one gets him free, I'll reserve the third one for popping someone in the head.
Okay. That sounds like an Excel to me.
Yeah. And can I spend effort to get an extra die? Is that how that works?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm going to spend effort to get an extra die. And a 6.
Nice. So you said you were saving one of them to try and get to attack one of
Yeah, it's like if I get him free, then I want to pop. This is effectively the send a flurry of things. I'm just narrating it as if it's a couple of different hops. But I want to if he gets free, any extra I'm going to throw up at the frog's eyes.
Yeah. So the frog is dazzled, and it's like are these like physical strikes, or are they more of like a dazzle?
They do 1 piercing.
Oh yeah, okay. So
if we were doing the
frog,
tactical combat, so it's shards of electric force, magical force.
So there's a sizzle. Morvins, what you hear is in the slime that is around you, there's the sizzle and an awful smell like burning hair, but you suddenly feel free. You feel like freedom of movement again, and you're able to shake off the almost ribbons of slime that are around you. It's been perfectly cut around you, freeing you. And then you look up and you see that there's this bellow, this war cry of a squeak as the as you're looking up, the 2 fading light daggers are just winking out of existence, and you can see that the eyes of this enormous frog up in the ceiling are like they're weeping and bleeding, and like it's closing its eyes, and it's shrinking back into the tunnel. And the other the centipedes that had been about to feast on you are suddenly like half drawing back into the tunnels that they came out of. And it looks like you've almost gotten through this. It looks like just one more big hit on these guys.
Get him, Lee. Don't step on that spot. It's still electric. A little trail when I go. Walk around it. Hop over it. Let's smash them.
Okay. Alright. Smash.
So how are you gonna? Are you swinging? Are you gonna go after the frog or after the centipedes?
Probably the frog, because it tried to attack a fellow adventurer in party.
Okay. Cool. So I don't know about you, but I'm kind of picturing like just kind of stabbing up with the up with Atlas into the hole where the frog was retreating.
Yeah, that
Okay.
works.
Go ahead and roll that smash.
Cool. Yes, gonna be a 2.
We have things.
Yeah. If you want to use a major boon, you can add some more dice to that. And you can also spend some effort to give you additional dice.
It's true.
So if I use a major boon, I get an extra die.
Yes.
I'll spend a minor or major boon to get an extra die, which is a 3.
Oh no. Sometimes you just miss.
So the frog manages to you feel all you feel is air at the end of Atlas as you are swinging it into the hole. And out of the corner of your eye, you can see that one of the rabbit folk had accidentally like stepped just one step too far away from his companions and had gotten too close to one of the holes in the wall, and a centipede had just in an instant snapped out and grabbed onto him and dragged him back into the wall.
Ew.
And you can hear there's some more of the scratching is coming from all around you. It's hard to tell exactly which hole it's coming from, but you can tell that the monsters are gearing up for one last attack.
Chia, if I set you up, can you seal them all off?
Yeah. That's definitely something I can do. Definitely.
Cool. Then I will repeat the same kind of thing, but mostly like less trying to like precisely aim to make sure I actually hit one of the things, but like trying to fire as many little bolts into the holes to make them like step back for a second to set her up to be able to better seal the holes up.
Okay.
Cool. And a 6.
It exactly works. It's like you saw it before and as it was happening. Like you knew exactly where each piece of the magic was going to go, and that's exactly where it went. And it's all perfectly set up to keep all of the centipedes corralled and establish, like give Chia a moment to cast her magic.
Yeah. And it just because it's very, acrobatic up in the air, leaving a persistent trail, an arc of electricity, bounce off the wall, fly back from the wall, throw a bunch of little darts, bounce off the other wall. So there's this little Jacob's ladder of electricity that kind of hangs in the air. A bunch of little bolts go down, drop down, 3-point landing, of course.
Mm-hmm. It's like
all
reality itself is in slow motion.
Yeah.
Like it's like a painting almost. As everyone else is watching you, just like masterfully move around the room and create the perfect opportunity for Chia. Chia, you have a +1 dice for increased effect.
I will take +1 dice. I will also use an effort, so that way I have more dice.
All the dice.
all the dice.
Oh,
That is a 6.
Ooh, nice. So not only that, the very last of the holes seals up, and just in time, because you can see that one of the other rabbit had made the same mistake again and had gotten a little bit too close to one of the holes and was in the middle of being dragged back in, and the combined effect of Kenzo's magic and Chio's magic like cut the centipede in half right before the rabbit folk was dragged back into the wall, and he's just kind of sitting on the ground like in shock that he's still alive. And looking around at all of you, and the remaining rabbit folk they're just kind of breathing a sigh of relief. They're relaxing. You can see that they're just kind of like letting themselves breathe for a second before they talk to you.
Can Leos go over to the one that was almost eaten and just crouch down like, did you not hear that nursery rhyme about the rabbit? You know, here today, going tomorrow.
He's looking up at you. I mean, yeah, my gran used to say that when she was a girl, that was something all the elders would say. I mean, I was never really sure what it meant, but I guess now I know. Thank you. And he is standing up and he's reaching his hand up to you to try and shake your hand. Hi, thank you. You saved my life. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The party is kind of gathering together. They are walking around the room. They're picking up some of their equipment that had been dropped by those who had been dragged into the walls. They're kind of gathering themselves, and then after a few moments, they look over at you all. If you all hadn't come when you did, we we wouldn't be here. I thank you. This just I don't know how to thank you. We're gonna leave. This is too much for us. We're getting out of here. We don't know what we're doing.
Are you a new group?
This is our first ruin. We all just came of age, and we said we're gonna go be adventurers. We're gonna go be icons. And we heard that this ruin erupted, and we happened to live nearby, and we came over and we said we're gonna get some dust. We're gonna get ourselves a nice house in the Warrens, and I just want to go home.
Yeah. Well, you got some dust already, right?
Yeah, we got a little bit, and you can see that they have the a typical bottle, like it's not quite as nice, or as like, it's definitely a bottle for like some booze that they had repurposed as a dust container, and they have like a funnel, and they've been scraping some of the dust off of the walls. For those of you in the audience, dust is condensed magic that accumulates in ruins of the old empire, and it is very sought after and valuable by pretty much everyone. And just going into ruins is enough to, just like standing in them, you can get some under your fingernails and in the creases of your boots. You can see that they have some old whiskey bottles that they are collecting dust in. We got enough, I think. I think this will pay for the funeral for our friend.
Oh, yeah.
For our friends.
Yeah, real sorry.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
But hey,
I mean,
you got your lives, you got some dust, you got a great story about how you met the famous Undertakers.
We're gonna. Oh, that's your name. You're the
Yeah,
Undertaker.
yeah.
I mean, that's kind of grim. I mean,
Well, but see, it's more like we go under and we take stuff, right? So it's like a play on
I
words.
was
It's like they
okay.
must be really mean, and then people meet us and we're really nice. And
So
we're constantly saving new adventurers, riding
so you're not the
bears.
Undertakers for us. You're the
No.
Undertakers for the ruin.
Yeah, exactly,
Okay.
exactly.
Well, I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna. I guess I'll tell people that we were saved by Undertakers.
That sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
Also, be careful. There's a cat roaming around up top, taking stuff.
Oh, did you run into that guy?
Yeah,
Just
yeah. The one that's all covered in this very specific color of rags.
Yeah, we ran into him yesterday. He came in. He said he was going to tell us lots of information and give us a plan, and then he all
Was
he
his
really
plan to
did
go
was
straight to the
eat a lot of our breakfast.
And then was the plan to go straight to the center because he saw opportunity in
he
you?
told us all the good stuff's in the center.
Yeah. Like
And
like
of
everyone
course
doesn't
it
know
is.
that.
Yeah, I mean, like we're not going in there because it's dangerous.
Kinda,
like
right?
we're not stupid,
Yeah.
but
Oh well, it's fine.
okay.
Well,
And they kind of
be safe.
Yeah.
Say hi to your 27 brothers and sisters for us.
Yeah.
Morvins, you are
The-
filthy. What is that about?
Kenzo,
Yes.
now is not the time for jokes. We are in the middle of a ruin. Stay sharp.
It's like I don't even know you. I mean, you're right. We're supposed to be super professional, but being professional does not mean that we can't have a positive attitude and outlook.
I have been wondering, this giant head is a Zizzo, right?
Yes.
And Zizzo have perfect memories. They never forget anything. Do you believe that there might be an archive of some kind in this place?
I just saw Chia's squee eyes when you said that. She's like, everything gets brighter in the room because her eyes are now like different places. Ooh, an archive. Maybe.
There could be an archive.
Morvins,
Be
how
fun.
familiar are you with Zixo? Like, do you think you would have run into them a lot in your travels?
I've met a few. They're one of the more common folk.
Okay. So as I think what you would know is, so Zixo, they as you said, they remember literally everything. They have perfect photographic eidetic memories. But so a lot of their memory is kept, up in their heads. But they are very good record keepers. If they decide to put something down, it's just incredibly accurate records. And as you're looking around, you can with an eye to how tall are the ceilings, how wide are the doorways, what's the step on the treads. This place does look like it is, almost made for a Zixo. That it would be, made to be comfortable to traverse and live in, for a Zixo. So if you were gonna, I think that it would not be a bad assumption to think that there could be some kind of archive or some kind of record room to find in this area.
Well, let's gather up a bunch of dust while we're looking for the records.
That sounds like a good plan.
We could just roll you around on the floor because you're real sticky and the dust will stick to you. That
Sounds like a bad plan.
We can rename you to Swiffer. I suggest we Swiffer the ruin with Morvins. And then find the archive.
You do seem to have a rather sticky quality right now. Just scooch along the wall while we make our way up and down the stairs.
The den used to be very sparkly.
Yeah.
If it makes you happy, I will brush against the wall as we go downstairs.
Also, let me take a look at that arm.
I hold on my arm.
Poke, poke, prod. It's not broken though, right? Okay.
If Morven's had enough damage to break, then it would be a broken arm could be a plausible burden to take, but he's still in kind of the strained territory.
Okay.
So strain can be cleared by taking a camp, which clears strain and regains and restores effort. If the class can get, I think there's at least one bond that doesn't get effort back when resting. Anyway, so Morven's is at 4 out of 5 strain, so within risk of breaking soon, which would not be great, but it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. Well,
as you all are having this conversation, speculating about what else might be, findable in this ruin, you start to feel a tremor. There is something. Something is shaking, but it's not. It doesn't seem to be coming from anywhere in particular. It's more of just like the world itself has a little bit of a quiver to it.
Everyone do Star Trek. Oh no. So yes, that's not good.
Chev.
Yeah.
Do we know if ruins can rise any higher as the expedition goes on? Is that something that we might be able to find out for an action of some kind?
I think. Don't think you would even need an action for that. It's once something comes up to the surface, it usually doesn't go higher than basically whatever level it came to when it surfaced, it'll be there and stay there until it eventually goes back down. It's not like it's going to come like halfway out and then further out. But also, who knows? But you're not aware of any cases where it just suddenly came out halfway through.
Or appeared and then sunk back down like literally 2 days later. They stay around for a while.
It would be very unusual if it came out, if it was like it surfaced and then immediately started sinking again.
Yeah.
So whatever this shaking is, it is probably not related to sinking up or sinking down or raising up. Like you're not about to get buried alive or anything, but at least as far as you know for what is typical for ruins.
Oh, I hope that frog didn't have a mama. It's probably fine. I suggest we just ignore it.
We should continue on downwards. Try and find some actual rooms in this place.
Yeah. Gotta get that dust, yo.
You've got a good bit already. You've gathered maybe like one unit's worth already. Usually an expedition you would want to get a couple more units to make it worth the risk, but you've got some already banked. The middle distance is a little bit uneventful. You make your way down, or like you have the this one floor that you're on. You can see that this is seems like more living quarters. That there are carved beds set into the sides. There are, some tables and rooms for storage, some rooms for eating. Everything is similarly hewn out of the stone. There's nothing really much on this floor. It seems like the rabbits had cleared out a bunch of this floor before you got here and before they were ambushed by the insects.
Well, so the question is, Morvens, do you want to take a pit stop here? I mean, we did just get up. I'm just worried about you.
It's still early in the morning.
Okay.
Let's press on.
Okay. Um, so as you press on, um, how are you? Are you being careful about how you progress, or are you just kind of brazenly pressing forward, heedless of the danger?
I'd assume carefully if we don't hear any other sounds of like other people in distress, we might as well take our time looking around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you take your time. There's not much to find. You find now that you're farther away from the surface, you can actually find some artifacts here and there. Some, there's some toys here and there in some of the bedrooms. There are some like knickknacks and keepsakes. There's a few written records. They seem to mostly tell about records uh, of work duties, of hours spent on duty. It seems like they were accounting their time for someone else. And there are a couple storerooms that have some equipment, some pickaxes, some buckets and wheelbarrows. And there is at the very end of the hall there is there's a sloping kind of passage that goes down for about 10 feet before ending in a solid wall that looks like it was it almost looks like it was shut closed with magic itself, that it wasn't like it was walled up or anything. It was more somebody similar to Chia had come through and magicked the stone itself shut. And then there is another staircase at the far end that leads down to the floor below.
Do these work records have job titles in them?
No job titles. They have names in a few. Like there's a roster on one sheet. There is. It's mostly an accounting of. It looks like how many wheelbarrows of stone they hauled, and how long it took to do it. And pretty much like it looks like all of them were written in a consistent hand. Like whoever was keeping the records, it was the same person for most of the records.
What if? I'm just kind of putting ourselves back in the tavern when we tell the tale of our great adventure in the ruin. Like, what if we were looking at this place is haunted, and we were looking at the roster of the people who were supposed to work the final shift, and our names were on it. Ooh, the chills. Someone ought to buy us some free cider for that. I'm gonna file that away.
It does sound spooky.
Yeah. Hey, do you want to get one of those wheelbarrows there? And you want us to push you around in it, Morvins? Just so you don't tire yourself out?
I should be fine.
Okay.
Thank you for the offer.
Do you want to get 2 of the wheelbarrows and race down the ramp?
No, I do not. Thank you for the offer.
All right.
Can we go down the ramp to where it just ends in a dead end and put their ear to it to see if there's any sounds on the other side?
Ooh. Okay. Give me a sense.
Can I spend an effort to gain? Well, no, that doesn't work anyway. So it's a 1.
Well, you could if you spent an effort, then you could bring it up to just a flat d6 instead of 2d6. Take the lower.
Okay, I'll spend an effort. So it's just 1 die. That's better as a 5.
Okay. As you press your ear to the wall, it's the thrumming, the vibrating that you had felt earlier. It died away, before. Like it was kind of like a sudden swell of the vibration, and then it died away. But now that you're actually like putting your ear to the stone and listening, you can tell that it does sound stronger on the other side of this stone, and you can still hear it. It's like a faint undercurrent. And then as you're listening, you can tell that it's getting louder. It's getting stronger. Like it's almost imperceptible, but you can definitely tell that like it's swelling. Like it's not as loud as it was when you first heard it, but it's getting there. It's every second that you're spending there listening to the stone, you can hear that it's getting louder.
We should not break that door.
Why?
Tum Tum is there.
Well, that sounds like that's the reason that we should break the door. See what it is. Or we cannot break the door, and Chia can just make a hole in it. Because Chia,
Well, I mean,
is the stone friend.
true, but I mean, we don't need to make holes into unknown places.
That's what we do, though. We're the Undertakers.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it turns out there's just more stone behind the stone. So that's just making a tunnel, and eventually it's a lot.
Yeah.
What did you hear exactly? It's not like another frog monster thing, right?
You know that doo-doo we heard up there?
Law and order.
Same. Do-do-do. Do-do-do-do.
Perhaps
Rumble.
a compromise.
Yes.
What if we made a small hole and then shined a light through it and looked?
Yes.
Right, small holes. I can do small. GSL is figuring that's probably Excel, not something that she's actually good at.
That sounds pretty appropriate.
Yeah. Chia will concentrate extra hard on trying to make a small hole using blasting earth magic.
Yeah.
Oh, Chia got a 4, which is pretty good.
That's pretty good. It's pretty good. So how are you doing this? Describe how you're doing this this blasting earth magic.
Well, it looked much like the closing earth magic. Only this time, I think the swizzle stick, in this case, she spends a moment to hold it and then like whips it out into a straight line and just kind of bores a hole with it because the crystals are a focal point of magic. So the one on the end just kind of goes. So you just kind of
Doing kind of like a Phantom Menace Qui-Gon with the lightsaber kind of deal.
Yeah.
Okay. So as you're standing there and you're posing with the magic, whatchamacallit, you pierce the magic pierces through. You can feel that it's encountering resistance. It's boring deep. And how deep did you actually want this to go?
Well, as long as the stick is, I guess, because otherwise, I don't think I'd have the control. So,
Okay.
I don't know. That's probably about 10 feet.
Okay. The magic starts to go out of control a little bit. It's the same. It's the same sensation that you got earlier when you were trying to close the holes, that the rock itself is almost fighting you, and you had thought you could get like 10 feet deep and still have good control. You could only get really into 5 before it started getting shaky, and like once you get about like 7 or 8 feet deep, all of a sudden you can feel that the magic is starting to get loose, and it's there's a split second there where you know that it's it's about to go out of control. It's about to cause an explosion and detonate while it's inside of the rock. You have like
Abort.
one.
Abort.
Aww.
So are you telling everybody else to get out of the way, or are you aborting yourself? Are you cutting the magic off?
I'm cutting the magic off.
Okay. So as you cut the magic off, you can tell that like there's a brief second where you could feel the magic itself starting to, like, the beams starting to swell inside of the rock, and then you just like poof, cut it off, bring it back, and you know, it's up to you whether you're trying to like hide whether that was intentional or not, but what everyone else can see is that you know, after a couple seconds, quicker than they might have thought, you bring the magic beam retracts into the staff, and you lower it, and as far as you can tell, you didn't get all the way through the stone. That whatever the stone barrier was that had been erected here, it was more than 5 feet deep.
Well, that was about to explode.
Oh.
This rock is weird. It was weird before, and it's weird here too. And also, that's at least 5 feet deep.
Oh. Okay. Well, maybe the rock is infused with magic.
That might be possible. Can I study the rock
Absolutely.
to see if I can figure out what it's made of, other than minerals? 6.
Oh. So as you're studying, it's at first it seems like regular rock, but you're getting up to the, you're looking at the cross section that you cut out. You're looking at some of the, like, where the centipedes and the frog had dug through the rock. You're looking at the cross sections of, like, where the doorways had been cut into the rock. And at first it did look like normal rock. It's you can't really tell the color down here by everything, just looks yellow from the torches and your lanterns. But like, one thing you notice after a while is that the rock itself seems conductive to magic. That magic flows through the rock easier than you would expect it to, and that the reason that you were having trouble with the rock earlier was because it was almost too easy to exert your will upon it. That whatever, like, you tried to move it, it moved 10 times, or not 10 times, it moved twice as fast as you expected, and it crashed together. You were trying to channel it and move it out of the way of the beam that you were trying to drill, and it was moving. It was just too fast. It was like you were trying to punch through a soft pillow when you were expecting a brick wall. Just the force was getting expended faster than you would expect. It's just it's not just rock. It is functional rock. It is magical rock.
Yeah, so as I'm describing these properties, I'm taking one of the little samples and, like, writing about it in a book quick and questioning what properties this might have. Is like, obviously you didn't need as much magical force in order to punch through, but if you need less of it, it might involve a little finer control than what I've been taught. And if that's the case, and then she just sort of keeps mumbling a lot of magical theory stuff, which I actually think Kenzo might be able to keep up with if he wants to.
Not so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. However,
Lightning magic is not the most compatible with earth magic.
yeah. But so what you're saying is the rock is alive and it wants to respond to our magical will.
I mean, I wouldn't
Cool.
use alive per se.
I'm gonna
but...
I'm gonna go up to the stone, and I'm going to, whatever little spark of ether is inside me, I will reach out and touch it. I'll go, hey there, big ol' hunk of rock. You sure are a lovely big ol' hunk of rock. Sorry about that hole in you, but hey, at least we didn't blow you up. We'd really like to get past you.
Are you making this an action, or are you
I'm trying to charm the rock.
Just trying to charm the rock?
With magic.
Okay. This is gonna be... I don't think this is gonna be a very...
I'm anticipating nothing will happen. I just want to do
Yeah,
it.
it's not a very risky action because, okay. I mean, the worst that could happen is that nothing happens. Yeah. But it's a very difficult position that you're in, trying to, like, charm rock with magic. But it's not unheard of.
Yeah. Okay. No, just a 5.
Okay. You can feel that as a little bit of lightning charge leaves your fingers and goes into the rock, you can feel it like immediately soaked up by the stone. And if you feel like it goes somewhere, you can't really tell where it goes, but it goes somewhere, and it's almost like it's going around you, like it's getting soaked into the stone itself and dispersed. You don't really hear any, you don't see, like, as the rock doesn't open up, but what you do see is that all of the environs start to light up and glow. That where before you had like, before everything was like pitch black and dark, the only light was your own whatever light sources you brought with you, but now around you, it's like a corona of light that around where you are, that is coming from the stone itself, that like wherever you move your hands, there is a little bit of a glow that follows you, like an inverse shadow being cast on the wall.
Cool. And I'll smack the wall a couple times. Good talk. That was weird.
As the 2 magic users are using magic, I would like to talk to Leos. I would like to use my special ability, Pep Talk. Leos, during that fight, your help was invaluable. That final blow that you tried to get on the toad really drove it away. It ribbited backwards at an incredible speed. And the blow you gave to that centipede was also quite impressive. It was very strong. I could feel it. It threw out my entire arm. I know that you're a crucial member of this party, and I want you to know that I know that you're crucial.
Thank you. You're also very crucial.
Thank you. And that should let you regain 1 effort.
Oh.
So would you say that frog ribbiting away was very riveting?
This conversation suddenly hopped to new places.
Hey, Floor, you sure had a great floor. Can you swallow me up now? That'd be awesome. Don't encourage them, Greyhound, seriously.
So, Chia, Kenzo, what's happening with this wall?
It's a super friendly wall that likes to make light and stuff.
Is it still glowing? Is this effect ongoing, or does it fade after a little bit?
It's fading a little bit. It will maybe last another, maybe another like 5-10 minutes. It looks like it'll be dim enough that you wouldn't be able to read a parchment from, but it's still pretty bright.
That's pretty.
Is this a prop? Is it absorbing the magic? Should I study this wall?
Yeah.
Or is it the same kind of thing that I learned before?
It's similar to what you learned before. Like, you did not learn anything about like glowing or any response of the stone or anything, but from what you know about, like, the magic seems to flow through it. You get the feeling that the magic that Kenzo put into the wall is it's the magic that he had put into the wall that is making it glow, and it's just kind of following him around.
Yes. Because Kenzo was nice to the wall, it absorbed his magic and is following him as some sort of light-based shadow.
Yeah.
Kenzo's magic is very impressive. You're very powerful, Kenzo.
I mean, it's my scintillating personality more than anything else. I mean, you've now seen someone charm a wall, so yeah.
Perhaps we should
Imagine
charm the
that
stairs.
first.
But fun fact, yeah, not the first time I've charmed a wall.
Really? You've done it before?
Oh yeah, all the time.
A magical stone wall, or
I mean, not
just
quite
a regular...
the same. Not quite the same.
Uh-huh.
I've charmed walls. I've charmed floors. I've charmed an entire outhouse once. You know.
Entire outhouse.
Yeah, it's just a day in the life of the adventurer.
Sometimes you just gotta explore.
Yeah. All right, but we should probably take the stairs, though, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So as you make your way down, were you all intending for that to be a camp, or were you just having some role playing? Whatchamacallit?
We're just fiddling with stuff.
Nice. Okay. As you're making your way down, the light is still following you on the walls. You can hear that as you get down, or as you go down the walls, you can't hear anything in front of you. As you come onto the bottom landing, onto the it seems like you kind of entered at the center of the head, and the stairs only went down, and now you're on the bottom floor. It is 5 or 6 floors down from where you entered. It is you can tell that this was an area of importance. That this was it's not a corridor with rooms. It's more of one large carved out collective communal area. You can tell that there are some musical instruments that had been left here and there. There was some fineries and clothing here and there. It looks like somebody had set up some tables that are moldering and collapsing now, but it looked like a pretty festive place here at one time. And as you and there are some pools that had been now they are full of nothing but dried up pond scum, but it looks like somebody had carved like half of the room down a couple feet below floor level, so that there were some pools that the inhabitants of this area could submerge themselves in and have a good wet time. And at the very center, there is a stone table that has been wrought into the carved out of the stone, and you can see a somewhat familiar sight that is on the stone. It looks like from afar, it's kind of a circular stone area, a kind of circular stone disc, and it is kind of in midair, and you can see that it looks like there is an inverted cone that is coming off of the bottom that comes down, so that the disc itself is kind of about 5 feet in the air. There is this kind of cone, like cylinder with slanted sides that comes down, and then down near the floor, like it collides with the floor. And as you come closer towards the center of the room, you can see that at the top of the disc there is a square area with some bumps and curves that are set into it, and then some dome shapes that are set around the center that look somewhat familiar.
Like a map of the map of this whole joint, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh, I wonder which head we're in. Is there like a red dot or? Hey, let's go over and look at this cool table.
There's not a red dot. As you come closer, you can feel that that hum that never quite left is getting a little bit louder. It's starting to build up, and like it's not in response to anything that you're doing. It's just it's been constantly growing. Leos, you know, like ever since you pressed your ear to the wall earlier, you could tell that like you kind of got a sense for the sound of it as it's growing in volume. And you know, you had pointed this out to everybody else, and you can all kind of, if you pay attention, and now you don't even really need to pay attention, you can almost always hear it at the back of your hearing, that it's getting louder. There's a little bit more of a glow to the walls now. It's not just around where Kenzo is. It is it's almost like everything is a little bit like the faintest phosphorescence. You would need to look at it out of the corner of your eye in a pitch black room to see it, but you're basically in a pitch black room, so you can kind of make out gray shadows in the distance. As you approach the table in the center, you can see that there is there's no red dot that's like a "you are here," but you can see that one of the heads on, you know, it's not like a perfect one-to-one, it's more of the suggestion of a carved head, is glowing where none of the others are. The same kind of phosphorescence that is coming out of the walls and is following you, Kenzo, is starting to build up in the head. And if you kept track of your bearings, you would recognize, like, it's the same southern edge, the head at the center of the southern edge that you are in right now, that's starting to glow on this little miniature.
Cool.
If I look around the room, do I think that it could fit as many people as there were bedrooms up the previous floor?
Yeah, it definitely does.
How many, what's a rough estimate is that then?
Ooh. Somewhere between maybe not more than 100, 150.
If more than 100 people were encamped in this head, and there are 3 other heads of this size, and all those minor heads around, then this was a very large and active complex.
Oh yeah, and that's just the exterior perimeter. I'm sure there were thousands and thousands of people.
You can get a sense from looking at the structure that is in the miniature, the map, that the true size of this complex is almost unfathomably large. That, you know, it extends far underground beyond whatever is visible on the surface.
And you described the heads as being connected to the cone structure.
So it looks like not connected exactly, but where the edges of where the cone comes up, where it meets surface level, it's kind of flush. Like the heads are kind of like flush with where the top of the cone would be.
Cool. Yo, Chia,
Yeah.
what's all that about?
And Chia will study the table to see if she can discern some function of what it was for.
Okay.
That's a 4.
Okay.
Is it all I want to know is it a teleportation locus? Because that would be awesome.
It is. As you're looking at it, how are you investigating?
I think first looking if there's like any writing or anything on it, and then if there isn't really, probably just focused on like, what if I touch it?
Okay. So you don't see any writing. There
I guess
are...
also with like, for the presence of magic, is it made of the same stone that everything else is that uses that absorbs magic?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely made of the same material. And as you are looking at it, as you're touching it, you can feel that there's a warmth to it that you hadn't felt touching the stone anywhere else. Like whatever whatever the magic is, it's like it's almost concentrated here. It's like the stone itself is warm, and you can feel that the warmth is kind of like, as you're passing your hand over it, it is warmest at the very bottom of the cone, so kind of down near kind of the ground where your feet are, and then it is also like you can almost feel a path of warmth that comes up the side of the cone up towards where the stone head that you're in now is, and you can feel that the kind of the mock stone head is warmer than any of the other ones. The hum is continuing to get louder.
Hey.
So this one's warm, and it's probably related to the humming. I wonder if this station is either coming online or about to explode.
Maybe if like our interactions with it have triggered some sort of process to wake it up, which means more magic, which means more dust, right?
Maybe.
So we
It's
should for
interesting that the
sure-
stone absorbs magic so much, or conducts it well.
Yeah. I mean, the ancients are all weird and stuff. Who knows what they were up to?
Yeah.
I think you and I put a little mojo into it and try to trace that line and make it stronger and see if maybe there's some sort of sympathetic situation going on.
Okay.
You know, to make it happen faster, whatever is happening.
Yeah. Here,
'Cause
let
that
me
can't be a problem.
let me power you up, because I think your electricity stuff it seemed to like better, because I don't know, moving rocks and stuff. I have a special ability. I gain 1 die to set characters up,
Oh, cool.
so I guess I should do that more. So I guess I will use. I think it's just smash, because I'm just hear some raw magical energy coming at you. So
You're
hopefully I
digging
don't
deep,
just blast you.
You're summoning all of the strength, and it's probably like your magic is not entirely compatible with Kenzo's magic, and so it takes a little bit of like actual effort and strain to really like call it forth.
Yeah. So I got a 4. So
Okay.
mixed success. Enjoy this raw magical energy.
Oh, delicious. Thank you.
Who knows what kind of horrible effect will happen?
This is a terrible idea. Again, people are listening to me. It's not a good idea. It's fine. I think this is like trying to work with precision to feel like whatever that course is, and trying to like just channel some of Chia's energy and my own into like one of those mini games where you're trying to connect the circuit to hack the lock kind of situations. So just like dragging my finger along it, little trail of electricity and sparks.
Doing like a Bioshock pipe dream kind of thing.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And 5.
Okay. So as you are tracing the magic, you're kind of the path that it takes, like you can feel where it is, you know, it seems like it's easy to flow here and hard to flow here, and as you're tracing it around, you're moving. It's not like a straight line up. It is more of like a convoluted path around all of the like edges and circles, and you can feel that there is a branch point where you hit a point where it feels like you're not sure which way to take the energy. The hum is getting louder and louder as you're doing this. It's like it's getting closer to you. Sometimes it gets further away, like the hum kind of dims, and then as you bring it closer and up, it's always getting stronger. It looks like you have a choice. You can trace this energy up towards the head that you're in, or you can take it to one of the others. You have a choice of which one you want to take it to.
Like one that's near us?
One of the other four major heads.
Big ones.
Yeah, one of the four big ones.
Huh. I'll hold my finger there and explain to Chia. So, if I go this way, it'll come to us. If I go that way, it'll go in the other direction. This might blow stuff up. It might be awesome.
It might blow stuff up.
It might be awesome. It might be terrible. And this might be like the death machine, or it could be the money machine. I don't know.
Well, either we death money machine somebody else, or we death money machine us instead, I guess.
How does everyone feel about us?
If this is a death machine,
It could be a death machine.
It would be quite cruel to use it against somebody else.
It would also be a true one shot if it was.
True. It's true. It's true. We do have another one in the books, but so is the consensus that we roll the dice and see what happens?
I think we said it here because otherwise we don't have a very good proof of
Unless we
what
hear a
it
massive
does.
explosion and screaming.
Unless we hear a massive explosion or go around and ask them later, like, so that head, did it explode or did it like
Yeah.
open a treasure door?
Fine. I'll be like, geez, I'm not quite sure. I'm having a hard time making a decision. Zip to us.
So as you drag it up there was kind of a branching point,
Yeah.
and there was one that went up towards the head that you all are in. As you trace it out, the humming gets louder and louder and louder. It is almost deafening. It's like you can't even hear it anymore. You just feel it in your bones. The light from the stones around you is getting brighter and brighter and brighter. And you can actually see there is dust coming out of the walls. There's dust coming out of the floor. There is it's raining down on you. It is like it's not raining down. It's more of like a seep, like an exudate. Like it's just everywhere is coming out of the walls. But it's starting to get warm. As you're standing there, you're looking up at the dust coming out of everything, and you're looking at the brightness, and it's starting to get pretty warm inside.
And it feels like it's going to accelerate and this whole thing's going to get super, super duper hot. Hey, let's just scoop up as much dust as we can and run. Does that sound good?
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Everyone grab a canister and scoop as we go.
Or just fan it towards Morvans, who will just absorb it all. And then we'll ring you out later.
Just kind of fly trapping Morvins all over.
100%.
Leos is grabbing him by the leg and just kind of swinging him around.
Wee.
Okay. So are you trying to book it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give me, I think, so it's starting, it's not just the hum, it's not just a hum anymore, it's a rumble, it's a shake. So you're making your way, you're making your way across the floor back towards the stairs. You're looking up at the stairs, and you can start to hear some of the rock pinging. Some of the stress in the stone stairs is being released from, where Leos had sent the rubble smashing down earlier. You can hear some crashes as the stone is crashing down, and you're looking up and you're trying to dodge some pebbles that are spraying down on you, and you're looking up. Are you going to try and how are you going to try and ascend?
Swiftly.
Just go as fast as you can. Just full send it.
I think so.
Okay. Everybody give me a this feels like probably a traverse, but if you want to make an argument for any skill you want, feel free to do so.
Can I try to endure it because it's like getting hotter to endure the intense heat and then also the things that are pelting on to us as we're going up?
Absolutely. And yeah, if you know, there might be times when I say like, you know, hey, give me this role or that role. Always feel free to. You can always make any role with any talent you want. Just you have to make an argument for it. Um, uh, yeah. So as you're trying to endure it, I'm kind of picturing that you're not even bothering to like move carefully up the stairs. Like you're grabbing onto whatever handhold you can. Like the rock is starting to get uncomfortably hot around you, and you're not really bothering with. I'm kind of picturing that you're not bothering with like where your hand is or what danger there might be. You're just trying to push through and just tank the damage. Is that kind of what you're feeling?
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, I
Roll
got a
that endure.
6.
Ooh.
Ooh. Just 1 6 or 2 6s?
It's a 6, a 2, and a 3. So
Okay. So yeah, hell yeah. Um. So that's yeah. You managed to make really quick time. You get up a couple flights of stairs in no time at all. Like you can't even tell that anything has significantly changed from when you first started out. Or when you like first started ascending. Like it hasn't gotten hotter or rumbled more while you're getting up. You get up a couple floors, and you are now on the floor where you fought the centipedes and the frog before. Um, and you can see that some of the centipedes had kind of come back and chewed new holes in the wall, and you can see that they're almost like looking around, kind of inquisitively, like, but they're also like some more of them are retreating back into the wall. Like even the the monsters are running, and you can see that above you is the areas of ruined stairs from when you were having your misadventures before. So it's not going to be just a straight run up the stairs now. It's going to take some more acrobatics, and it's going to be a bit of a harder traversal to get the last couple floors.
So, first of all, did the action with the miniature get us into trouble with something powerful? Like, it's now hot and it's trying to kill us. I would argue that it would, but it's your judgment.
Are you asking me that, or is that
I'm asking
party
you.
question?
I'm asking you.
Oh, okay. No.
It didn't cause trouble with something powerful?
It caused trouble in the sense that you initiated a process.
Okay. But so it's specifically someone or something. It doesn't have to be like a creature, I don't think.
Oh, yeah. In that case, then yes.
Okay, cool. Because there's a thing. Second wind. When I cause trouble, I get to regain effort.
Oh yeah. If that was what that caused
Should
your
make that
thing.
clear. So also, do we have like a lot of rope and stuff? Because we're adventurers, and we're literally the undertakers. We go underground and take stuff. So we probably have things. So if like someone were to be at the very top and lower a rope, that would help everybody, right?
Absolutely.
Cool. I will simply see. I was tempted to just go back to the camp and wait for you all. Because but instead I will go as far up as about 300 paces straight up, which is probably farther up than I need to get, but I will go to the point where I am at the top floor and can just lower down a rope for people.
Oh, I think that within 200 or 300 paces, that is what you can do if you're a chapter 2 character, which is like tier 2.
I thought it was the amount of effort you spent. It's fine.
Yeah. Nearby, you can definitely get to where what you wanted to do is within nearby.
Yeah, it's just the structure. So cool.
Yeah.
Full on just like crackle of lightning, and then a little bit of a pop sound as the air rushes in to fill the area where I was. And then another kind of boom sound as the air moves away, and you see a sparkle and crackle at the top, and then rope goes down. And it's hot up here too, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, come on. I'll talk you through it. You got this. This is all a very elaborate setup action.
Yeah.
Yes.
This feels like a traversal from everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then I will spend a bunch of effort because I want to succeed. Oh, got it. From the others. But
do this.
can I wow and impress them to give them a setup?
Yeah. So
think-
if you want, you can spend effort to just aid them, or you can make an action roll. Like if you don't want to spend effort, you could make an action roll to do the aiding, but then you open yourself up to consequences, or you can just you can push yourself and exert effort and just make it happen.
And one effort equals a die for each of them, or a die per. Not a die per. I'm saying one effort
Yes.
equals one die for one person.
Yes.
Good. I will spend 3 effort to give 1 die to each person.
Nice.
I'd like to spend a effort die as well.
Yeah, you should.
Just to myself.
100%.
Same here. Push it. We're climbing ropes. We're doing our best.
Four.
5.
Okay.
Sin rolls.
But
3 ones.
Leos, you already made it up. I
Oh,
think.
yeah.
Okay.
Or no. Oh no, that was to get to the second section. Yeah. So Leos, you need a traversal as well.
Yeah, you should spend another effort or something.
Okay, I'll spend another effort. My dice hate me.
Yeah, I know, right?
Can I spend another effort?
You could use a major boon.
Yeah.
Okay. Man, I need to buy a lottery ticket. It's just threes all around.
Ooh.
Would you let her spend a major boon for a +1 as opposed to a +1 die? Yeah.
I think it's. I don't want you all to die.
Yeah.
So it's pushing. I think technically you're only supposed to have no more than +2 on a given roll, but we're playing a little bit loose.
That's me. So yeah, just add 1 to that 3, and then we'll get you a 4.
Okay.
You're big and heavy.
There's 2 smaller people wiggling the rope ahead of you.
They're like, here, just grab it. As you all. Ooh. Yeah, so as you all as Kenzo drops the rope down, Morvins and Chia and Leos are all grabbing onto the ropes, and they're heaving, they're running along the walls, they're swinging and running across the gaps in the stairs. And as you all the while, it's whatever process you initiated is accelerating, and you can feel that the heat is getting larger and larger and larger, and it's starting to burn you as you are just being near the walls. So Morvins, Chia, and Leos, each of you take 2 strain as you are moving through. Just the hum itself is seeming to shake you. It's hard to get a good purchase on the rock as you're running, and the stone itself is almost burning your skin, and it's not great. It's not a great place to be, but you do manage to get up to the very top, up to the surface, and you are within sight of the doorway. And as you're booking it, as you're not even bothering to grab the ropes, just dropping the ropes where they lay and running and booking it, and just like you've got your valuables on your sides, you're holding them as you're running to make sure you don't drop anything important, and you're with a final like throw of yourself out of the doorway, you look behind you, and the hum it turns into a roar and a blinding light that you can see even not looking towards it. And it's like the entire head behind you is a shining beacon. And as you kind of turn around to look, the roaring, the rumbling starts to die away, and the stone head itself, it's like a beacon that was rising into the sky. There was a beam of light that was shooting up, and now from like all of the kind of the footprint of where the head was just an enormous beam of energy that was shooting into the sky, and you can see that. After that initial burst, it's starting to lessen. It's starting to fade away, and as you look, it fades and it fades, and you're just kind of sitting there on the ground. You're safe. You're looking at it, and it never quite goes away. It stays like a hot piece of metal just pulled out of the blacksmith's forge. It's got a bit of a cherry red glow to it as you look at it, and it's kind of stable in that state.
If I spit on it, does it sizzle?
Absolutely.
So it's still too hot. Cool.
As I was escaping, I brushed up against the walls and got severe burns.
Yeah, you definitely did.
We need to go camp.
Yeah. So as you make your way back to camp, it takes you a second to realize, or it as Morvin's you you didn't sense it at first. It becomes apparent as you're making your way back. Your shoulder is just raw, and you make your way back, and it's a quiet night. But I think we will leave it there. With you all regaining coming back to camp, licking your wounds, and rejoicing in your hard-fought spoils of victory.
Cool. And pulling out a comb and scraping every ounce of dust out of Morvin's fur.
Yeah, it's like a decontamination in reverse of you're trying to get like every little bit out.
Yeah.
I believe you get 3 by default. Bloop-a-doop-a-doo. Expeditions. Yeah, all expeditions normally reward 6 XP and 3 dust if they're successful. I'm going to say you get an extra 2 dust for each of you. And you get 6 XP. And as we would have started the session, it would have been level 0 characters. But after the first session, now you are leveled up. You're level 1.
Ooh.
So we can start the next session with you at level 1. And let me see. I know we are running over time. Do we have... because everybody has their own kind of criteria for leveling up, I believe.
I don't know. I'll have to look. I'll have to read it.
Yeah, we can deal with that next session.
Cool. We did good.
And that was your very first expedition of Icon.
We are
in
famous.
the burial grounds.
We are famous. Everyone else is going to come from all over the area and go, what happened? What happened? We're like, I don't know, man. I mean, we may have done some stuff.
You know exactly what happened. You made it happen.
We may have done some stuff. No big.
Yeah, we made it happen.
We're the Undertakers. We did it. So what? You mean you haven't activated some ancient arcane mechanical device before? Psh, simple. All you got to do is make friends with the walls.
So,
Yeah.
like, when you level up from 0 to level 1, you gain a bond power according to the thing, right? So the bond power I'd like to gain is reputation. So like people, when you like enter a new place, people, depending on the chapter, people can know you.
Oh, because you're fancy.
Yeah.
I like it.
Everybody gets an extra bond power, and you can improve an action.
Improving an action is just adding a thing to an action?
Yeah.
Cool. You know what would be cool to have? Traverse. Traverse seems kind of handy. No reason.
Yeah, it does.
No reason at all.
No reason at all. But
Or sense.
traverse or I mean, I'm good. You all just need to tell me to say, hey, Gia, what do you think about this?
Okay.
But no, I thought traverse and what's the other? Excel seems like something of interest too.
Yeah, Excel is good.
Based on what we've done now this time. But
it looks like,
but I want them all.
Oh, I think everybody has similar. If you fulfilled at least one of your ideals, you get an experience. If you were challenged or tested, you get an experience. If you accomplished an ambition, which we don't have group or personal ambitions yet, and if you invoked a burden, you get an experience.
In addition,
that's all purely based on whether you thought you played into that.
Yeah. I mean, deceit, check.
Cool.
Awesome.
Well, should we do the thing?
Yeah.
Let's do the thing.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. My name is Chev. You can usually find me on people's chats in different parts of the internet, in our extended Twitch community. I also stream twice a week playing Mahjong, which is a card game, and hanging out listening to music with some cat cam, featuring my cat, who is somewhere. She's on the floor behind me, I think. So if that sounds like your jam, come see me. This has been session 1 of the Burial Grounds. Let's go the opposite order. Zero.
Yep, and I'm Zero Daylight, or Michael, I was Gonzo. And well, see, this is the thing. I don't know what the next thing is, but Misha does. Oh, Cowboys and Cthulhu.
Yes.
So yes, we will be doing lovely trips into the meadows to pick flowers so you can press them in your journals here in like a couple of days.
Nice.
There definitely won't be more astral floods from echoes from billions of years ago and strange creatures made up of various different bits of other creatures or infectious mold or anything like that. So
I'm glad to hear those aren't happening.
And we definitely don't have to deal with the fact that Jeff's character has a little bit of a situation going on.
I'm definitely not going to cut off my hand.
You're definitely going to have to cut off your hand.
Evil Dead Ash scenario.
You're definitely going to have to. Or maybe. We'll see. Cool. Yeah, bye.
I am Twi'lek, and I have been playing Morven's Marmalade. I am the most seriously injured of the group so far, but that will change as the others get more reckless. Thank you for your time.
Hi, I'm Sin, or sinful__potato on almost all social media sites. Woo. I've been playing Lee or Leos. They really don't have any gender, so feel free to pronoun the heck out of them. They don't care. Yeah, they have a big stick. They've been doing great. Haven't set anything on fire yet. You know, that potato theme keeps flowing through every character. It's totally fine. Yeah. Go, Misha.
All right, I'm Misha, or Misha_less_3 here on Twitch, or at Misha on Tumblr. You can also see the C+ comics.tumblr.com to see fan art stuff there too, or go to the Discord. Yes, Cowboys and Cthulhu is this Tuesday, and then next Sunday should be another one of this, and then maybe there'll be another one after that. We still need talk schedules. So yeah, I think that's it for me.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thanks everyone for playing. Thanks everyone for coming and showing up. in stream and sharing the boons. No thanks for those of you who shared Bane Zodi. How dare you? And I will remember for the next Teen Justice Academy. So that's fine. Anyway, and yeah, we're gonna say goodbye to our friends on YouTube, and then we'll come back and raid out to someone else who's playing some TTRPGs. So thanks everyone, and we'll see you very soon. Bye.